All right.
Able to plug the doors up so high.
All right, we get the camera going.
Okay.
I'm going to call the May 7th, 2026 meeting of the Smithfield Budget and Financial Review Board to order. For emergency evacuation and health notifications, there is a direct exit to the outside, the front left of this room. If that is not available, go exit out the rear doors to the left, out the main exit or the main entrance and exit of the police station. The health facilities, the restrooms, are out the rear of this room to the right, down the corridor to the right. There are 2 of them. Item C on the agenda, vote to approve meeting minutes for May 5th, 2026. Do we have any commentary on those?
Did we get it?
Correct.
No, so we're
So-
going to move to push it to the next meeting.
Agreed. Can I get a motion?
I just did.
A second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, we're going to move those to the next meeting. Item D, consider, discuss, and act upon the following departments' FY 2027 operating budgets. So I've got a list of all the departments. We'll make it through what we can make it through this evening. I have my working spreadsheet in Excel that I've gone through based off of conversations that we've had in our various meetings, and inputted kind of what I believe the general appetite for the BFRB is for the different line items. This is a discussion though, so we're going to go down through. You'll see that some of the items match the town manager's recommendation, others do not. In areas where they don't, I've highlighted it and I have some talking points as to the reasoning why it's different than the town manager's recommendation. At any point, if we start on a department, good evening, and we determine that it's a deeper conversation, I will entertain the idea of moving that department to Tuesday when we don't have as many of our departments, when we can have a couple of the deeper dives. For that purpose, I do have a couple of the larger departments at the very end of the overall agenda, understanding that we will have departments moving into Tuesday. So with that in mind, moving to departments 1 and 2, the legislative and policy. Let's see here, I am zoomed in. So for review purposes, the primary line items that were modified on this sheet were office supplies, and you'll see that as a recurring theme as we go through the different departments. Office supplies were not just level funded as we discussed early on in our meetings. They were either level funded or brought back to the average expenditure of FY24 and FY25, whichever was more restrictive. So we went to a more budget conscious view as this goes versus level funding versus the FY26 appropriation.
Can you give us an example?
Right here is a great example. So in this case, you can see my cell is yellow, column I, row 14, with a $1,000 recommendation in it. The town manager's recommendation was $2,000. The FY26 appropriation was $2,000. If you look at the actual expenditures between FY24 and FY25, the average was $1,062. So literally talking about a 100% increase if we stuck with the level funded appropriation versus what actually has been recognized in that department over the last couple of years. Another factor, if we look at the FY26 half-year expenditures, you can see that it was only $96 of actual expenditures in that department. So that's ultimately the justification of why I pulled that back to the $1,000 mark.
So just a quick question, just so I'm going to write down, like, green means what?
So green were ones that are more restrictive to touching. They're actually salaries and the related lines to them. So you'll see the first couple of rows here, it's salaries and wages, and then FICA and Social Security taxes. Further down, it's again salaries and wages, FICA and Social Security taxes. And in this case, it's related to the two different departments here, the town council stipends, as well as the probate judge, municipal court judge, and town sergeant. Those were ones that I wasn't comfortable personally touching. There's different contracts related to them, and we would have to have other conversations if those were to be targeted for whatever reason. So,
Pink, what is pink?
so this one is one of our discussion items.
Okay, that's fine. And the orange one?
The orange one is capital expenditures. In this department, it's a larger discussion item because there are some other things to review. For capital expenditures, you will see on our overall schedule, that's actually item 34 on our agenda. For the purpose of our discussions, we're looking primarily at the operating budget, and we're going to take capital expenses as a separate conversation.
I have a stupid question about that.
Yes.
So can we approve it without the capital expenditures being agreed upon?
Caitlin, I'd have to ask you, can we do?
Because it's part of the department.
So
Okay.
that's bad.
So we can,
So you wouldn't, anybody who has a capital budget, you wouldn't be able to approve their entire budget unless you approve the capital that goes along with it. And if
the
we
good
wait
thing
till
is
the
most
end-
of the departments don't have capital line items. So I'm open to recommendations. Do we address the operating and then
Go back.
go back to capital and the final, like basically settle the department and then attack the capital as one larger group, validating the departments when we're ready?
Everything except for orange.
Yes,
I'm fine.
So we
Okay.
can validate it in principle, but we're not gonna act upon it.
we won't be able to act on it, we'll have to motion it for.
Yeah.
Good point, John.
I was just worried about it because I was just like, oh, because I wanted to,
Well, and it's also, for this budget, it's 1.2 out of 1.7.
Well, that's just this line item, so.
No, I know. I understand.
Right. So, primary items of modification from the town manager, so anything light, I did not modify from the town manager's recommendation. It made logical sense to me. I'm still open to discussions if you have any discussion points on them. However, I'm going to move past them unless someone speaks up on them.
A quick question.
Yes.
Is the spreadsheet, so if we change something to 0, let's just say, does it go back to the summer? Do all the, and maybe this is.
Yes,
okay. So in other words, does the I column for budget and financial review?
My original, go back to the summary, I think I just heard you said,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
In my original spreadsheet, if you kept it the same, yes. it-
I've actually enhanced a few of the formulas in it to make it even a little more dynamic from where it was. So yes, Ken.
So it should be 1.2 and 536, am I right?
You are on a different version than what I have that I'm sharing on the screen right now, because between when I uploaded that version and right now, I've gone through some final reviews. Caitlin and I spoke multiple times today as we went through it.
So this is not the one that's on OneDrive?
The only modifications between this and OneDrive, I believe at this point, are capital related. Because Caitlin and I were talking about different capital impacts throughout the day today. But, however, that said, this will be post-conversation resaved and uploaded back into OneDrive for review. So, reviewing this, office supplies was one that I varied, and it was due to the multi-year average. The miscellaneous fund, I reduced from the town manager's recommendation and the department requested. That was ultimately in an effort to minimize catch-all accounts. We really want to see, as we move forward in the different budgets, targeted spend versus kind of the general account spend. And there actually are a few other departments where they did create new catch-all buckets, smaller amounts typically. But this is an effort to push spend into more targeted buckets without getting rid of it all in one year.
I mean, just as a note, and it's a good thing, the 536, 356, at least on the one I just downloaded, is the same as on your summary sheet, which you have in green. The tab is
Excellent.
green. So it does match.
Not everything will. That's, my point is, especially with capital, capital will not match what
I'm
you're
not,
seeing.
Ian, I'm
Okay.
not talking about capital, I'm talking operating. Because I
Yep.
know we're gonna go and change it, but the 536,356 does match your green tab, which is 536,356. That's what I'm trying to say, that's all.
Okay. The other deviation, direct deviation from the town manager's recommendation was related to the codification of ordinances. Again, it was based off of the multi-year spend. The multi-year spend was just shy of $4,000. Recognizing additional moves within the town, additional updates and changes, I am supportive of increasing it, but not necessarily all the way to 6,000. Topic point, any feedback on that?
How did you come up with that?
If you look at the multi-year spend, the multi-year spend is 4,000.
That's not how we.
5,000 is an increase over that 4,000, but it is holding back on how much we're growing the overall budget of the town. How did you, sir, come up with the $6,000 target?
We come up with what we're gonna spend for the year, we come up with a number. That's how all your line items are.
Okay.
I think what Ian's saying is specifically, how did you come up with that number? Especially if you deviated from doing like a prorated, you know, you took the current expenditures and you divided by 12 and multiplied. Whatever.
So we looked at how we're doing a lot more ordinances now, we have to advertise these things, there's a lot more involved with them, and most likely you're gonna spend the 6,000.
Well, advertisements are a separate bucket than
but
the
it's
codification.
Codification, we have to have them printed in, the company that prints them, there's an expense for that. Our book has to be updated, there's a whole lot of things that go into this.
Right, but don't lump advertising in. Advertising is a $34,000 line item, not codification.
Well, are you telling me how the budget goes together, or am I telling?
I'm looking at the lines that I see here. You don't throw advertising into something that it's not.
We have a book print.
Mhm.
There's a whole bunch of things that go on with this. With the number of ordinances we're doing, we're probably going to spend around 6,000. That's why the number's there.
Okay? Board,
But, doesn't the taxpayer pay for some of those costs for advertising and? 'cause I
Not
know
for
anytime
ordinances, no.
I always have to write out a check
Not for
to the
ordinances.
abutters, to cover all those costs.
No.
That's
Not for-
planning and zoning.
That's planning and zoning.
So then what's,
So this is for other ordinances
Like,
that are
charter
passed
review
throughout.
and
charter
so-
review.
okay,
Yeah,
right.
okay, thank you.
but be careful about linking advertising in, because we have a separate $34,000 line item for advertising.
So what's the advertising line item cover? The 34,000?
All of,
It depends on the year.
all the advertising
Yeah.
in the whole building. Each department. There are
Right.
fewer departments that have their own advertising, but like in my department, I don't have an advertising line item, I don't think. So when I have to advertise for the budget or the public hearing and all that stuff, it comes out of
Right.
that.
Yeah, and there are several departments that do have an advertising line item, and many that do not.
Going back to your point, and tell me if I'm wrong. What I'd like to see is what's the longitudinal data on this from 1 year to 1 year? How many ordinances or codification of ordinances we've done to see if it's linear as opposed to we did 200 last year, we're going to do, the projected is 400 this year.
Right.
I think that's where we are.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
It is, and without the data to back it, I'm supportive of an increase, but not of an open checkbook, so to speak.
Totally agree.
Clarification question, Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was just asking about codification of ordinances, and he advised advertising, but now I'm just seeing the advertising line. Can you just
Some of-
tell me the difference?
Some of that money may be used for it's mostly for our books, to get them all updated, to get the website updated, and all of that stuff. Sometimes it gets used for advertising if we're running low in another account, so we don't go over. So it's very dynamic. This isn't straight, this is how it happens, because there's a lot of things that happen during the year. So we put numbers in there so we don't go under budget.
Well, but now what you're saying, sir, is that you're pulling from different approved line items to fund other line items when there are overages.
Sometimes we do that.
And I do not disagree that that needs to be done, but we need to find what the
Okay.
right amount in each of those lines
Let me just be
are.
clear with what you're presenting tonight. If this is the spreadsheet I saw this morning, my office is not going to support it, number one. Number two, whatever, you guys can do what you want, which is fine with me, but there's contracts being broken in here, there's other things that's public policy that you shouldn't be touching, and we'll review all of that when you're done. And we'll go to the town council and explain the effects of this budget. The other thing, and I'm just gonna say this for the record, I don't know why I wasn't brought in to speak about the budget items that fall under my office, but all the other town departments were.
All right,
So I
and
never
remember,
had an
nothing has been locked in for a
No, I'm
town
just
council recommendation yet.
I'm just,
This
I'm
is a,
done. I'm not gonna say anymore, I just want you to know, none of this was passed by me or the finance director on the budgets that affected our department, what we do to the manager's office. So we never had the opportunity to discuss it with anybody.
Okay.
That's it.
thank you for your feedback, sir.
So, and to go back to that, this goes back to what we would have discussed, is if there is movement because Gene's spending more money, we talked about this the other day, we can't be charging accounts where the description of the account doesn't match the expense, correct? Because then you can't do zero-based budgeting or any type of trends. You can't. Get an approval from, well, you, I guess, first, and the council is needed. That's what needs to change. And I think we can both agree with that, because you're moving some stuff from paving to, that's fine. Things happen. It's a fluid budget through the operational year. But if we're charging water to codification, in an extreme example, then how do you know what to do? That's not what cost accountants do, period.
We need to show the overage
That's
where
it.
the overage is.
Show the overage and make it, or transfer it.
Right.
That's general accounting one.
Well, I disagree. You're not here to tell my finance director how to do her job, nor to tell me how to do my job.
Okay, I appreciate your feedback. We're going to move forward with
You
our
can move
discussion.
forward. I am the town manager. She is the finance director. We have things set up in certain ways. If you want, I'm totally open to suggestions. But I don't appreciate, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. We've been doing just fine. The previous town has been doing just fine.
No, sir, we have not been doing just
How do you
fine.
know?
You're trying to draw down the town's reserve fund by over $1.2 million this year. That is spending down, that's deficit spending.
We're not deficit spending.
That's reducing our savings account, sir.
But we lost 50% of our fund balance in the last 5 years. And we're not in a
Right, and I've
position
already
now.
spoke to you about, we're working on building that back up again.
I'm going to redirect us, sir. I appreciate your comments. I'm going to redirect this and remind people that this is the Budget Board's meeting to discuss a potential proposal to the town council. We will move forward to public comment or engagement from others as appropriate, but I'm going to move us forward for now. Okay, so looking at that, we were on the codification of ordinances. Can I have some feedback on that? Do we want to move with the town manager's recommendation or an alternative solution?
Can you just scroll up a little bit? I just want to see if the 3210 is in. Okay, the 3210 is in expenditures for half the year. And the only question I have regarding this is, are those expenses pretty much ratable over the 12-month period, or is it like spike in the last half of the year or spike in the first
It
half?
all depends on what's happening with the town
Okay,
council.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And in different departments will experience their expenses in different areas of the year.
So just as a baseline to help, I'm gonna do this to help you, Ian. It says if this takes the vote, it's $64,000 less with a 10.7 decrease. So I'll try to track that through this.
Well, so, and actually, you can't quite
Oh.
see it, but I actually have that further over. Yes, here's the 10.7% decrease.
10.7, yeah, it's way over on the right-hand side. I'll
Yeah.
just try to,
So, does anyone want to or recommend modifying that $5,000 line item? Okay. Moving upward, and again, we're gonna avoid capital expenses for now and address those later. That does put us at the grant writer. So, reviewing the grant writer is a contract with an external agency for $60,000 a year. There is an opportunity here where I requested information on the grant writer's productivity, and I did receive information for FY25. They did a fantastic job. I have no questions or challenges about the work that they did. I have not seen any data for delivered grants for FY26. At this point, we're 3/4 of the way through the year, and I have no concrete productivity from this grant writer for approved grants. So
It hasn't been
one,
any yet.
so one recommendation that I
Mr.
have. that
Chairman.
you'll- Excuse me, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, please wait.
You're
I am in
giving
the
wrong
middle.
information.
I will pull up my email on screen if you would like. I have no information provided by you, sir, on the productivity of this grant writer for
We have not
FY26.
received any this year because they're all in process.
Mhm.
So the appropriations committee at the feds, where we have like $1.5 million in there, doesn't meet until April, and the awards are given out in June.
Okay?
And we have another grant that Vin and I just did, is going to be $250,000 a year for the next 5 years. We're going to be getting notification of that shortly.
Those are, and that would be amazing. I really, truly hope we receive those. I have a proposal that I'm talking to my budget board on,
Oh,
please,
but
sir.
let me just point out something else. We have 1 year left in the contract. So just so you know, we did year 1, and we have another year left in the contract.
Okay, so there's a recommendation on board here. It's going to be proposed, it's going to be decided by the budget board what is proposed to the town council. This is a discussion point for the
I
budget
understand, but
board.
I'm trying to
So-
give you correct information. We have a year left on our contract.
Most contracts have exit clauses.
Well-
We can evaluate what that looks like.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, so board members, one opportunity that we may have in this, a lot of municipalities will have grant writing as part of their planning department. We do have a line item for an assistant planner over in the planning department. The recommendation I have here is that we discontinue this external contract, bring on the assistant planner who amongst duties will have grant writing as one of those duties. It's not an unheard of municipal structure. It's a lot of work, a lot of towns and cities will have a combined grant writer and planning department member. So this was my recommendation for how we move forward. Again, this is not me being a dictator up here at the podium. This is a discussion point for a member of peers for a crafted recommendation to the town council. Our output will be handled by the town council to whatever terms they see fit.
So just on that thought of having the assistant planner do it, the only question I'd have, and I'm not sure if we have the answer to that, is what if the planning department becomes so busy that the assistant planner doesn't have a chance to do grant writing? Because grant writing is like, that's huge for the town. That's
Right.
That's
It
awesome.
is.
I'd rather see a contingent fee-based contract for grant writing and let it be well over 60,000, let it be 600,000 if it's contingent fee.
Right.
But I think where Ian is going, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have any data on that new person either, in terms of what they're gonna do, why we need them, what we are not doing today that we need to do, that we're losing out on, okay?
Right.
I
We
think
do know
what
our-
he's saying is
Yeah.
that maybe we don't need both.
Right.
That's kind of what you're
Yes,
saying.
and we do know we have a growing planning department, and it's much needed. We know that we need to improve and increase our planning department with all of the development going on in town. But again, this is an opportunity, if we're bringing someone on, have this be part of the expectations. And that's an if, again, when we go to the planning department, we'll decide, do we recommend bringing this person on or not? But this is an opportunity that I'm presenting to the board here.
And would that be a union position, and would the union contract allow it? I don't know the answer to these questions. You might not.
As far as managerial versus union roles, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
It's going to be planned on being a non-union position.
In the
Thank you, sir.
In the planning
In the
department, yeah.
planning department.
Thank you.
So those were the
If it's
recommendations.
contractual, whatever's cheaper, if it's fine to keep, if we have to keep the contract, then keep the contract. If it's
Right.
not, then we can.
I mean,
I don't disagree with you, Joe,
That's-
either.
Right.
The other one
We
out.
gotta figure out which one's cheaper.
Until I get some data, I'm not voting on that.
Well, she brought in $4 million in the last 2 years.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and that's great, and the town, I love that the town's benefiting from that. The past performance is not in question here at all. It's more so what we're looking at for our future operations.
Correct.
And again, this is not a definitive sheet. This is a discussion point for the board.
Yeah, we gotta vote on it.
But, well, we
On the
can't.
budget.
But Joe, you brought up a really good point. I prefer to fund this if we are contractually, we don't have contracts in front of us. If we're contractually have to do that 60 grand, assume there's no escalator or cost of living, I would just as soon do this and take out the other one. That's what I.
Yeah.
But if we have an exit clause and we can exit this contract for...
I'm just saying if.
Right,
I just want one expenditure, even if we have to jack it up a little bit, I have no problem.
right.
And in
I
the
agree.
future, make it more contingent, so more grants
Yes.
are written.
I want to see data on,
Results, that's all we need is grant writer results, that's it.
well, on the other one, the other position. the new
Well,
position.
the other one's not being hired to be a grant writer. We are so far behind in planning, we gotta get our ordinances up to date. There's reasons why we're doing this stuff. You put $120,000 in a person that brought you $4 million in. It's a pretty good return.
Does the budget board have a recommendation for the status of this grant writer? Again, it was here and it was that separate color because it was a true discussion point here.
I recommend we keep it, at least for the rest of the contract.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then when we get to planning, we'll decide.
thank you.
I think that's a valid, which means we're going to level fund them because it's going to come out to zero, almost close to zero.
What's gonna come up?
When we add the 60, we cut 64, so now we add the 60, it's going to come closer. Now it's a 0.7 increase.
Right. All right. We've addressed the highlighted modified lines on this. Does anyone have any other feedback for this department? Okay. Moving forward to the Department 3, the Municipal Government Center. So for those who know or don't know, the Municipal Government Center is the terminology in the budget for the Overbrook Academy property. There were a series of recommendations here, and we have challenges related to that property. We're working on standing up the utilization of the property, but we haven't fully engaged the use of the property yet. We don't have, if we're loaning it out, if we're leasing it out, we don't have tenants at this point. There've been perspective, and that's great, but right now it's a pure cost to the town, in more so than just the monthly operating costs, in the acquisition costs. What I was looking at here is minimizing, and I will say, I do not have concrete reasons or numbers here. I don't know that anyone truly does, other than I will say that I credit to the town operations. I'm sure they have some good data on why some of these were funded to the points they were. My recommendation is that we cut down on, so building, maintenance, and supplies. We're not in this building. Like, to what level are we going to do maintenance and provide supplies to a building that we're not operating on?
Agreed. Can I push this forward, maybe a little bit, help you? So I'd ask Caitlin, so there's 12,500 in the requesting.
For electricity.
For electricity, I'm sorry. We didn't pay for electricity in the last budget because we didn't own it. So this is only for how many months? How many months, in other words, what have we expended for electricity?
For 12 months.
No,
So that's for
not what
12,
I'm
so
asking.
we've expended
not what I'm
about,
asking.
currently, we've expended about $6,000 to $7,000.
And that would be for November, you tell me,
December,
I don't know.
January, February, March, April.
So call it 5
April.
months?
Yeah,
And we expended what?
about 6,000 to 7,000, I would have to get, I can get you
I'll
the
just say
exact
6
number.
for 5 months. All I'm trying to do, let's see if this,
Right.
so we gotta impute that
Mhm.
to the 12 months, and I'm not doing the math very quickly, and that's what it should be.
Right.
Remember, this goes to deficit if we can't make it
Mhm.
anything else, because, not this, the current fiscal year, because we didn't expend it. So I don't know what that is, if anybody can tell me.
14. I mean, it sounds about 14,000 or
About
so.
14,000. I'm just trying to help this to move it along, and then you
Right.
can do the same thing for heating, oil, and water.
Right. But here's the challenge too. How much are we over,
Estimating? Overestimating?
well, I mean,
Go back to real numbers.
well, we're working off real numbers, but like, let's cool down the building a little bit. Let's shut some lights off. Like, are we leaving the place lit up like a and this is a question, this isn't a statement, but like, what can we do to reduce the holding costs? Because that's what it is, it's the holding cost of this
Of the building.
non-used facility.
Yeah.
So what can we do to reduce the holding cost of this facility while we look to the options, while the town looks to the options?
And what I don't see in here, now you've just made me think, where is the insurance for that building? Because I'm assuming we have to have,
It's part of
Oh,
other
your
municipal,
trust.
other municipal
Trust.
applications.
okay, because that's the one thing that's obviously operating, so that's in the bigger issue.
I have two comments on this one.
Yes.
One is, I actually don't think, I think 30,000 is probably a fair number for maintenance. I mean, there's multiple buildings on that site. I've never walked through there, but even just mothballing the place is gonna be maintenance. Things are gonna happen. And my second point is heating fuel for 10,000. Again, there's multiple
No, that's a good point.
buildings.
Multiple
And Greenville Public
physical
Library
structures.
does 19,000, and that's just one building.
Yep.
But to somebody's point, there's a dorm there, a building dorm, whatever it is. I'm assuming we're not doing anything in that just to keep it at a temperature that will freeze the pipes, obviously. All right. I
The
mean,
lights are gonna run.
the light, yeah,
The
well,
lights-
It should be winterize the building and then you lose the interior.
correct.
You
Right.
can't,
But is there-
it's got
that's what I
a
said.
sprinkler system on it.
Okay.
And
30,000 will go fast.
is it bringing any revenue now at this point?
No, because we can't rent it because we need an ordinance to rent it, so I can't rent it to anybody. And so
There's no
we
income.
rent it.
All there is
Anthony and I
expenses,
talked about it.
interest and principal.
Right. Short-term rental type of thing.
And there are parties interested, I've had some discussions, there are parties interested in renting it, but we have to have an ordinance from the town council to be able to rent it, and that doesn't exist yet.
Okay. And what's the time frame for that?
We have, so according to the solicitor, we have to know who the renter is, and then he's got to draw up an ordinance to give to the town council, which is going to be advertised and voted on, then you got to wait another 30 days, because it's got to be, there's a 30-day relief period.
So are we thinking about 2 to 3 months?
Once you have a known entity willing to lock in, it's gonna be probably 2 to 3 months to be able to have someone in it.
You need an entity to know who's going to rent it?
The ordinance is written to the specific company or organization leasing it.
Now, I'll pose this to Caitlin. I'm assuming, don't know this because I'm not, Peter, I wish Peter was here. When a building is vacant without people in it, there's a different insurance premium / cost.
No.
That isn't true? I wish Peter was here.
No, it's not true.
Okay, I'll check.
Plus, we do have people in and out of that building.
No, I mean.
I know, I know what you
tenant.
mean occupied,
Occupied.
but we do have, our DPW is there all the time, cleaning up the
Occupied is
field.
different.
I understand where you're
Occupied is
coming from,
different. I want an insurance person to tell me that because I don't,
I'm not-
I
Because you
don't.
have liability, the liability covers it all the time, and then you got the structure and fire insurance.
I
It stays the
understand,
same.
I understand, but there's more liability when you have somebody in the building, full-time.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I'm saying. I don't know why that's so difficult.
Because that's how our insurance policy is for all our buildings.
So I'm hearing from at least one member of the board that 30,000 for the building maintenance isn't unreasonable, and
What does that cover? That covers like, if I need to paint something, I need like a new floor
Fix a
tile or
pipe.
something,
I'm
yeah.
not sure what
It's
it
not, if
is.
the boiler breaks, that
Right.
goes to capital.
Correct.
Okay, just.
So I'm hearing at least one person. Is that a consensus on the board, or is that a recommendation? Do we scale that back a little bit, but not as far as I had on the sheet here?
What have we spent so far in the last 6 months?
No, I don't know, Barbara has been keeping
Yeah.
track of that.
On what, on maintenance?
On maintenance, very little, a few $100, things we had to take
Yeah.
care of.
We did a few things internally, like the
Right.
yard and stuff, we were able to do that with DPW.
So how did you guys come up with 30,000? Just,
Because we want to be able to start doing a few things in that building to make it marketable to,
so to Joe's point, it might be paint and stuff like that, just to give it some curb appeal.
But some people come in and they do it the way they want. They fix
Right.
it the way they want.
Lease
So
it.
I think 30,000 is just a number that we're not sure if it's a good number or not.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest, and I don't disagree with you. I think the three numbers that are more suspect, especially if there's a possibility we're gonna get a tenant, is the electricity, the heating, fuel, and water, because that will go up unless the tenant is gonna take, unless there's a separate meter. I don't know, Bob, if there's a separate meter, water, and so on. Unless they're gonna take that, is that what the plan is?
So the money you see there is to cover us for what
course.
our responsibilities are.
Right. If somebody
So-
moves in, is
Well,
that?
that'll be part of the agreement, the lease agreement or rental agreement.
Okay.
Which, right now, the way the buildings are set up, there are separate meters on them, but they
Nice.
have to be broken off. Let's say somebody rented a floor out,
Mhm.
that could be separated out to a separate meter, which.
And then that would, if we wanted to break it out, that
Or
would
an
go through the
estimate.
building maintenance supplies.
So your intention is,
Right, to make it marketable.
Yeah.
is to have them pay for their utilities?
Or it's included as part of. the-
Right, so
into
this,
the-
if you rented the whole thing or whatever this is covering, it should go down to zero.
No, because we're gonna be in the building. You're gonna have town entities in the building.
Okay.
Right, and that's the big challenge, is we really don't know what the future looks like.
Yes, we
This-
don't.
Bob, is there gas in there, or is that,
It's natural gas.
do you know if there's a master meter there, or each building
Yes.
has its own
No,
meter?
it's a steam system, runs off a boiler system.
No, I'm talking about the meter itself, because
It's one meter, steam system, it all runs everything, the whole building.
Well, but not each building, correct?
The entire, all three buildings are under one steam system.
Okay.
Like that rise.
So the heating fuel is gas?
It's natural gas.
Okay, I just want, I think of fuel is.
Because Rhode Island Energy is coming down on master meters to separate them and have different
I think
meters for
the
each
heating
building.
is.
And I'm going through that now with a condo complex, because we're responsible for all the gas lines
Right.
after the master, for the meter. It creates a big liability down there.
Yeah, everything after the meters is the only.
Right, and it has to be inspected every 5 years by PUC and tested to see if the pipes are deteriorating.
Right. So with the structure of the current conversation, are there recommended modifications to what is displayed on the screen?
Which column are you pertaining to?
Anything that's
Four
in
yellows.
yellow.
So.
So the column in
What's the
gray,
difference between maintenance of the office equipment and maintenance and the building maintenance?
Well, there's
well,
not,
there's nothing in the office equipment line.
zero.
So I just
Oh,
copied,
whoops, sorry.
because it was a
It's
new
just a
department,
template.
I
I was
just
looking
copied
at the wrong
it.
way.
I did
pasted
too,
it.
I did the same.
So for reference, the gray column, column H, is the town manager's recommendation. Column I is what we're discussing for the potential recommendation from the board.
Just pick a number. We don't know, there's no baseline, there's no data.
There's no data.
Yeah,
So
right.
there won't be because it's too new. Pick a number.
10 to
Pick a number.
15.
I mean, that's basically what I did, so that's why I'm asking for
I think it
feedback.
should be greater than 10, but no higher than 30.
Yeah, I was thinking 20.
20.
Not
20,
like-
okay.
20 is fine. 20,000.
Because like you said, like if we want to, like a tenant comes in, they want the third
Right.
floor, but we got to break out the electricity meters, that's
Yeah.
going to cost a ton of money, so you want to make sure there's money there for it.
And at that point, as we've heard before, they can shift funds within the department and do a transfer from line to line. So if they are underspending in the building maintenance, they can do a cost transfer to electricity or one of the other lines. Do we feel those other lines are appropriate in this, or do we want to increase those as well?
I have no idea what the water bill would be.
Right.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to before with Caitlin. We'd have to do 5/12 of what you've expended times 12. If we were really gonna
The water
allocate-
bill I didn't look up, I have.
Okay, no, I'm not, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
I think
don't,
that comes from Greenville Water, which I think their rate is
going up.
pretty high.
They did.
I know that.
There's no
See, I have a
occupancy.
well, so I have no idea. what
Right.
the water bill
I mean,
is.
the water use should be minimal at this point.
Personally, except for what somebody said, I would leave all the utilities as is and move the other one to 20. We gotta start with something.
So, so
gotta figure
what's
it out.
on the screen now is a good baseline?
I think so.
20.
Okay, so I have 20 in for the building maintenance, 7,500 for electricity, 10,000 for heating fuel, 1,500 for water. That gives this department, the Municipal Government Center, a total FY '27 operating budget of $39,000. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All
It's a
right,
35% decrease. Just
we have one down, like 34 to go. Good job, everyone.
So we checked on number 2.
Yes, can someone keep track that we have?
I'm
Thank you,
gonna
Ken.
keep track of it on the, I'll put a check mark on everything we voted on.
All right, the next department is the Department 4, the Town Manager Department. So within this department, again, you can see the greens. Those are all payroll and personnel that are various calculations that I'm not touching. The yellows are modifications from the town manager's proposal, and the light blue under salaries and wages is a discussion point that we will talk to on that. Let's move to the yellows first. We'll take the blue line for salaries and wages after. Within this discussion, but after we address the differences from the town manager. Looking at publications and subscriptions, I put a $1,500 recommendation. When you look at the 2-year FY24 and FY25 average, it's $1,311 specifically. So pulling back on that from the FY26 appropriation and the recommended FY27, which to credit, the recommendation from the town manager did pull back from the prior year's appropriation. This is pulling it back further to closer to actual spending.
Do you have any data on that?
Yes, FY24 was $1,721.
All the things
FY25 was
That's not
$902.
data for this year. You got data for the upcoming year? Remember, my budget's gonna come up to around $2,000 for what I wanna do this year.
That is great. I love especially the way you said that, what you want to do. The purpose of this board is to pull back on the
That's
wants.
not, the purpose of this board is to support the town of Smithfield and support all your departments. I told you before, if you need to cut money, why haven't you been coming to me and Caitlin? We'll find you some money. I know where we can.
So moving forward for the board, please.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Chairman. A lot of respect you have.
I appreciate how you've been talking and the tone of voice you've been taking, sir. And we are having a discussion for the budget board.
I have a lot to do with this myself.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
we have a legal fiduciary responsibility. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
So looking to pull back on publications and subscriptions back to still an increase over the multi-year average, but a decrease over the prior year's appropriation. Official travel, again, the 2-year average was $3,154. The recommendation was $5,000, pulling that back to $3,500. Again, an increase over the multi-year average, putting some guardrails on how much are we traveling, how are we using our time, and what are we spending our money on.
Mr. Chairman, my
Looking
opinion
at-
says I have $5,000 made available to me.
Thank you, sir. So moving forward, looking at the
Yes.
printing and reproduction. Printing and reproduction for a multi-year average was $431. There was a $1,500 appropriation for FY26. Again, credit where credit's due, pulled back to $1,000 for FY27 for the recommendation. Looking to recommend bringing that closer in line with historic spend. Again, an increase over the historic spend. But a modest increase versus a 100% increase, a full doubling of the historic spend. The dues and conferences, the multi-year average in that one was $2,336. The request was for $4,000. I pulled this one back initially to $2,500. Let's be critical of what are we doing for conferences and what organizations and memberships. Let's start line iteming and making sure that what we're doing is truly necessary for the operations of the town. This is a new line item, the contingency. I mentioned back in Department 1 where they had the $10,000 down to an $8,000 miscellaneous category. They were looking for a $6,000 contingency line item. I don't disagree with having an area where we can that we can utilize as need be without the further deficit spending. But I want to do it in a responsible manner. I brought that down to a recommendation of $1,000. Part of the decision on that, there are other departments with $1,000 contingency. And then the telephone spend, I brought that to $2,600. That is still, it's a $100 and change increase over the historic spend. The cost of our telephony across some of our other departments has decreased. I'm looking to challenge to maintain as much cost controls there as we can versus the $2,800 spent. So on the yellow line items, what discussion points do we have that we want to move into?
The only one I want to talk about, I mean, actually I have two. I think at some point, not this year, it's going to be in the off-season, I think we need to centralize telephone.
Yes.
Because I get no sense of what that is. We do it at my organization, it's all centralized because they don't charge specific departments for it. The one I do want to, because then we'll really see what does she write a check out for Verizon or whatever it is. The other one is contingency. If we start putting contingencies in every freaking budget, we're never going to get control. Do what's needed to get done to provide the services we have today. Not necessarily tomorrow, but we can talk about tomorrow. But if we start burying these new contingencies, then we're not doing a good job of really getting the data associated with these. If you're going to tell me you want to go to 2 conferences because you're going to learn a great deal, I'll put more money in that budget. I'll put more money in that budget. And I just said why I would do it. Right. Not to just throw $1,000 in there.
The money's there because things come up during the year that are unanticipated.
But the whole budget's that way. I'm not going to get into this discussion. The entire budget can happen that way. It happened with snow.
You know, it's
We're
there
going to have
for
this
a
argument
reason.
all night.
Huh? But the problem is things come up during the year, and rather than going over budget, to have some extra money to cover them, so we don't go over budget somewhere, that's what it's for. You cannot anticipate 100% everything. Most organizations have a contingency of a small amount so they can cover those things so they don't go over budget.
Now, and I will say, sir, I do agree with you on that. That's why I did leave some funding there, not to the same extent that was
I've
requested.
seen a lot of budgets from a lot of organizations.
You know, Ken, I've been involved with a lot of organizations too, and there's nothing wrong with this. I don't know why everything's a
Oh,
problem.
careful, sir.
Sir, what? You didn't even meet with me to go over this.
Okay.
Why was I not given
Please
the opportunity?
let us continue.
Why was I not given the opportunity to review this with you?
We have a very tight timeline within our budget cycle. Let's continue.
Have fun.
So, again, Ken, you make a great comment on, like, if everything has a contingency, where are the cost controls?
Especially when we move money around, we don't move money
Right.
around, we charge it to a different line item, so we really can't see, which no good organization will do. Steve just said it, the CPA just said it. You don't know what your costs are if you're just charging water to office supplies. You will never know what your costs are.
Right. What I would like to see with the engagement of a contingency is that it's there, but then it gets transferred
That's
to the
exactly
appropriate
right.
department. So that's part of why I would be in favor, and I would be in favor of putting a comment in our note to the town council saying that's the intent of this particular type of line item, is it's there to give the departments a little bit of a buffer in the leeway that they need in operating, but we need to see it transferred versus simply charged to.
So we can adjust it next year on that
Correct.
particular line item.
That's exactly right.
Or put the appropriate money into the specific line item.
Exactly,
That's
on the
right.
next cycle around.
Because I haven't delivered it yet, but Caitlin was nice enough to give me all the journal entries for a specific account. I haven't had time to do it yet, but that account was a perfect example of we don't know what the hell is coming out of that account. But I'm gonna find it out. I'm gonna find it.
So we're using baselines from the 2 previous years, and this is a new line item, so I think $1,000 is sufficient.
I mean, we have to have somewhere to start, and I don't want to go big.
And the only other question I have is there a return on, well, I know there's a return on the investment with conferences, dues, publications, and subscriptions, but
Right.
is it worth not shorting it? And I don't have the answer to that question at all either, but
That's what I
I know when
said.
I go to conferences and I go to a lot of conferences and I pay a lot of dues, I have a lot of subscriptions, but there's a return on it because I come back to my staff and go over what I learned and my staff members will do the same. But I just want to make sure we're not going to cut a conference that might have a great return.
Right.
Let me-
I don't disagree.
Let me give you a great example. There was some conference where some people were going to present how to reuse town property. I would love our town manager to go to that, to see that presentation, to learn what we'll pay for that.
Well, and I would love to see that go, the request go to the town council for the on-stage approval for the expense. 'Cause remember, one thing to remember with the way the budget is lined up, there can always be a request to the town council for extraordinary funding. And extraordinary doesn't have to be big, it can be specific use cases as need be. Now, the detriment, the downside to that is, at that point, that funding comes out of the general fund. So
Absolutely.
we need to be careful.
Without something else happening.
Right.
Agreed.
But I would rather, and one of the talking points we'll have in a later department is there is a tuition reimbursement line in a later department to the tune of $5,000 that has been in there for a couple of years that isn't always drawn on to the full amount. My recommendation that we'll talk about there is that it's a $0 line item approved out of the general fund. That way we're not inflating the general fund through rolled over unutilized money. Again, that's a future conversation point, but no, actually it's in a different tab. But so I would rather see, if we need additional conference money, that we make the business case for, like if I'm gonna go to a conference, I make a business case for the spend to go to a conference.
I do it every academic year, I'm required to do that.
Right.
This is a larger conversation. We can't do this now, but it's like almost like the salaries. Ken, I've got every year where we want to do like a bucket for salaries. We should have like a bucket for conferences, because I know there's a lot of different line items probably. So if we just have a singular bucket for that, and then we say, all right.
And then he can make decisions like, this conference is really important, Chris, go to that conference.
Obviously, we can't do that now, so
Right.
I'm
I'm
just.
okay with that.
And again, this is a starting talking point for us. So any modifications, like we did on the last sheet, any modifications we want to make for our pending recommendation, we can make as part of this discussion. Are there any of these yellow line items anyone would like to see modified?
I have a question
Yes,
for the town manager, if I can.
Please.
What were your plans for the publications and subscriptions?
Well, there's a couple of things I already, there's some things I want to add. Don't forget, that's not just for me, it's for the upstairs management crew.
Okay.
And there's some other things I want to subscribe to and give opportunities, like for Donna to go for some stuff. And we've been promoting professional development to try to get some more people to go to stuff, because they don't go anywhere and they haven't been allowed to go anywhere. So we're trying to expand upon some of the things they can learn and they can do and bring it back to the
Okay.
whole
And we just
building.
got a new HR director.
Right.
So we're hoping that she's more involved and also involved in, I don't know,
What's the name of her
HR
cert-
conferences.
Yeah, what's the name of her certification?
sure.
The SHRM.
Sure.
So that's to help pay for that, so.
And all
this-
the publications that help with that.
Okay.
Well, so she doesn't have her SHRM already?
Oh, she does.
Okay,
Yeah, but she's gotta keep it up.
right, yeah, continuing.
I didn't see it.
All right, so these are also like, now I'm a little confused. So dues and conferences could also be professional development. I guess you go to a
Yes.
conference for that. All right. But if you have, say it's a class, that counts as a conference or whatever?
Yeah,
There's no education budget overall,
there is. not.
professional development. Call
No,
it.
so I think dues and conferences has always been used as professional development.
And to your point, Joe, I don't have a problem with being in every line item. Telephone to me is a little different because it's pretty linear, what you're gonna
Yeah.
pay for, pretty set. This one, I don't have a problem. If he needs more, then take it out of some other budget and move it, get the council's approval to do it. That way we see what actually happened in that department. You would lose that if you made it an overall one, because we would be.
So
That's true.
when you start merging, like telephone, I understand where you, and that's a small one. But I also have to do a report for the state, the MTP every year, and it has different departments. And it breaks down utilities in that department. It breaks
Which state
down
agency?
the municipal, Division of Municipal Finance.
That's it.
And it's at the,
But it can't be utilities because there's no
But
utility.
it's at the end of our audit, and I have to do this like gigantic spreadsheet for them every year, and each department has lines that break it down.
Tell our
So
legislatures to get
sometimes
rid of
we
that. It's
need
ridiculous.
that division in each
No, I get it.
department.
But the thing is,
It's-
I don't know how you allocate costs, I don't really care, but there's no utilities in each in the budget, because that would be almost impossible.
No,
unless you did it by square foot.
but in that report, it has general government, and it has all the utilities for general, so it doesn't just say all of your, citywide utilities, each, general government, planning, engineering. And they understand not each department has those things.
Are you recommending Joe to jack it up a little bit? Is that where your recommendations go?
I guess the question is, you don't have to be specific. Do you, I have people come up to you and say, oh, I want to go to this conference, take this class.
That's what we need.
That's
exactly.
I'm just asking the town manager.
Yeah, but one year they use
So
600.
he doesn't have to be specific.
Well, and Chris, that's exactly the point of why the recommendation for the starting point of our discussion is where it is, because it went from 4,000 to 700 year over year, so it averaged out to 2336. That's part of why I would rather have requests for something like this go to the town council, because then we're not introducing a line item that can be transferred and picked and chosen from for other budget fulfillment purposes.
And only 1,000's been spent so far so I'm not sure what you have for the last 3 months, but it's a big difference from $691. I agree with what you have there.
Any other commentary on the yellow items?
Just for FY, it's -5.5, as it is.
Thank you.
Another stupid question. So, whatever we budgeted, that's 691. Say we budgeted 5. Does that money go back into the general fund?
If anything over what is spent rolls
Okay.
into the general fund
That's what I thought,
for,
just making sure.
But we're not increasing the general fund every year.
I know we're not, but I'm just.
that's a separate problem.
I know.
I know, so, yeah, it sounds good, it's going to the general fund, but there's another side to that.
We become net zero.
Right.
Hopefully, that's the goal.
Okay, I'm going to move us forward then. I'm not pushing. Any other yellow highlighted
Are
comments?
you
here?
taking a vote for this? 'Cause-
Not yet, because we need to talk about the light blue item on this page first.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Okay, sorry.
The light blue item is the salaries and wages, and this is going to be a common talking point across any department that has non-union salary or non-union employees.
Non-CBA.
Yes. So in this case, we do have this here. The initial recommendation within all departments is a 3% merit increase. I have modified it to a 2.5% merit increase across all departments to recognize a lever that we have access to for pulling. In this particular department, there are actually a couple of changes besides that. So we do have, it looks like 3 different items that are, 3 different individuals that are part of the non-CBA classification that will recognize that. I did zero out the chief of staff position. It was a $20,000 line item. And I did recommend, as far as the HR administrator, there was within this, this HR administrator is a new hire after the generation of this sheet, but we had a merit increase baked into this person's position. I pulled the merit increase out of that person's position, I believe, if I look at my notes here. No merit increase for vacant role. Oh, it's listed as, because it's listed as vacant on this, I pulled a merit increase out of it. I understand where we either have filled it or are currently filling. Have they started yet, sir?
What's that?
The
Yes.
The new HR director?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Thank you.
You don't have this as blue. I have it as white. No,
Okay.
56,250. Correct? The assistant that's vacant, HR administrator.
Yes, I did not, so I didn't modify the town manager's recommendation on it. The funding is from whenever it gets staffed. It looks like, if I had to guess on that one, it's probably
I do have a
2/3 of a year staffing.
So what's the data and the rationale for hiring that new person?
It's already done.
We're taking
No, the
on,
assistant.
No, there's 2.
You're saying that the second HR person?
The one for 656,
Yes.
the vacant position. Because the other two, the HR administrator has been hired, because that was a position that was already,
No.
It's the merger of HR operations between the town and the school department.
okay, but I want to hear specifically what that person's.
So Sue Pilkington retired, and we hired Sierra Fusaro. She's our new HR administrator. We're going to, the town council's been speaking with the school committee and was brought up at one of our public meetings between the two. There is no HR department at the school department, so we're looking to combine HR, the school, our HR department, combine all 500 employees under one office. So the primary responsibility for the second person, they're probably going to be primarily the go-to person for the schools, but the two of them are going to work together for all 500. It'll be like 530 or 40 employees altogether between municipal and the schools. So that person will support, they'll both support all of our HR functions in town.
So that's processing of payroll.
No,
yeah.
it's done by.
Okay, that's why I want this on the record, processing payroll.
No.
No, okay. Then what are they going to do?
Hire, we have all kinds of paperwork that has to be done during the year, benefits administration, you do your enrollment every
Change
year
of
for the
status.
healthcare, everything. We have a lot of personnel issues that come up.
Okay,
And so they work with the trust when all the personnel stuff comes up, so they do a lot. And again, it'll be just putting everybody under one umbrella.
well, what's interesting is, it sounds like, I'm not putting words into your mouth, we are taking and consolidating some tasks that are done across the street. Is that a fair representation?
And some tasks that aren't done that should be done.
One of the tasks I've heard about, and I'm going to say this on public record, is, and I think you alluded to this, the trust issues, the lawsuit / whatever. Is that a
Yeah.
fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say this for the public record. I've talked to about 5 or 6 people, somewhere in this room. If we are not going to have cooperation, and I'm not putting this on you, from the other side, to bring that situation, whatever happens, to this or the boss, somebody, this isn't going to solve anything. I think we would both agree, and I hope we can agree on that.
No, HR, it has to go to HR. They don't
No,
have an
you're missing what I'm saying. If the other side of the street does not let us know that there's a smoldering issue,
They have to,
So-
they have to, if we're gonna make this work.
I'm going to keep saying
That's your point, right.
I agree, but have both sides agree that if what happened last fall happens again before it gets any further, and I'm not bringing it up, it will be brought to the attention of you / the HR.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We've already had that.
Would we admit that if that doesn't happen, then we're no better today than we were a year ago?
Not necessarily, because there's a lot of things they should be doing and they're not being doing beyond that issue. Beyond that issue.
You know why I'm asking? It's
No,
not-
I know exactly.
Now, Ken, I do want to point out that I've had several conversations with congratulations to our new superintendent, and she is very collaborative in her work efforts. I've been very impressed with her engagement. Within the budget cycle specifically, that's my level of engagement, but.
Yeah, I've talked to several people, and some people said, that's a good question. Now, this was a month and a half ago. I just want to make sure that it solves the issue, or at least mitigates it. That's all I'm looking for. Otherwise, I agree with you. I mean, I don't know what the people over there are going to do that we're doing what they're doing, but that's another issue, if you understand what I'm saying. So then I have no problem with this, as long as it's on the record that they're going to tell us, and we're going to mitigate it through our legal department and through the town manager. I'm okay with that, because we get hit with the lawsuit, not that.
Well, for example, they don't have a labor lawyer.
I'm sorry?
They don't have a true labor lawyer, for example.
I know.
We
Well, it
have
could be
a-
discrimination, it could be a lot of things. that cause-
So those are the things we're trying
That's
to.
all I'm saying, Bob, I just want it to work, which it hasn't in the past. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
What do you want me to find out?
Right.
You find out too late, that's the problem.
So within and this is where, and you will see this consistent across the salary groupings within the different departments that have salary. for non-CBA is a recommendation of a 2.5% merit versus the 3% recommendation.
Yeah.
And
That's going to be
then,
across the board. I'm going to be talking about that across the board.
yes. And that is, I've inputted that across the board. And again, credit to the school department. I have an agreement there as well for non-CBA.
I think we're okay with, unless I'm missing something, I think we're okay with this.
So in this case, it is the non-staffing of the chief of staff, the non-merit increase for the new hire, or excuse me,
Yeah, the new run.
Yeah.
2 week,
Because they're going to come in at
For
like
either-
a stated level.
right. And then the agreed creation of that assistant HR administrator. I had no problems with that one.
Is that
Now-
a union position, the assistant HR administrator?
No.
Oh,
Oh, okay, I thought we had that on this sheet.
None of these people are union.
Oh, so no one in the town, well, Bob's a contractual employee, but the other people are at wills.
No,
No?
I'm not contractual.
You have
No,
a
he-
contract with the council?
He's a pleasure
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
sorry.
it's a
I understand.
employment.
It's an employment
Police
agreement.
chief, fire chief.
Understand,
Yeah.
understand, sorry.
So with that, and that's why I had this cell highlighted blue on the master sheet for this department, because it's a key talking item, but it's a very unique talking item.
It is unique. Absolutely.
It's something that I know last year we didn't touch, and from what I understand, hasn't been touched traditionally within the budget recommendation process. But I do believe it's an important lever to lean on.
Which?
The merit level.
Oh, no, it's been touched.
It hasn't, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, that puts this department at a BFRB recommendation of minus 1.3% versus the prior year appropriation. And that's a $647,786 appropriation for this department.
I have minus 5.5.
5.5%.
Unless I did this right. Oh, no.
Then you added the 4.12, the negative 1.
Yeah, I have 647 divided by.
I-25, so our recommendation minus.
Oh, I know what I did wrong, sorry.
Minus prior year appropriation, so, yeah. No, I stand by my negative 1.3%. Regardless of the percent, it's a
37.
funded appropriation of $647,786. Any other discussion points? Can I have a motion, please?
Since we saved on the HR administrator, there would be proof for the continuing ed to like 1,000 between the pub and the dues, the publications and the dues, like 3,000 and 2,000,
Thanks, man.
just so we're not
What was that
cutting
again?
so drastically. The publications, subscriptions, and the
Publications?
dues and conferences, just bumped them each up 500, so $1,000 across. Because we're saving the 3,000 on the HR administrator. You don't have to.
No, I'm open to logical discourse and discussion on this. Again, I created a starting point for our conversation, but I'm not the person who decides. It's a group effort here, so with those modifications, it puts us at a negative 1.1%, a $648,786 appropriation for this department.
Where was the other one going? So one of them was going with 0301. Where was the other 500 going? Dues and conferences?
0751,
Yep, okay, got it. So that's going up to 3.
yes. Can I have a motion to approve the $648,786 appropriation? A second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, 2 down. Later on, they get easier. We actually have tackled a couple of the more challenging ones currently here. Okay, moving on to Department 6, the town clerk. You will see on this, again, the very similar structure. I have my light blue highlight. I have the greens. Now, one thing I'm not able to identify with these, where we are reducing the merit, it actually theoretically should reduce some of the green items as well. FICA taxes, things like that, because you're not experiencing quite as much. At that point, it's closer to a rounding error. I wasn't worried about it for the appropriation purposes. If someone else is, good luck. So we do have 3 yellow items, and by the way, we still will go into the salary tab to do an actual review of it, even though we know what the general idea is. So within the town clerk department, for printing and reproduction, I zeroed out the appropriation for that line item. It sounds drastic, however, if you look at the spend for kind of a multi-year period, they did have some spend in FY24, no spend in 25, and halfway through 26, no spend.
The only thing I would fight for that is,
Okay.
I will bet you, I think I know what it is, election versus non-election year.
Fair, excellent.
Okay, only because my dad used to be the chair of the Board of Canvassers, so I...
Well, shouldn't that come, there's a separate department for the Board of Canvassers though.
Oh, that's true. Okay, that's fair.
Now, we can take a quick peek over into that department and see if they have a printing and reproduction line.
Because it seems like it's every other year. Or am I just, my eyes are bad?
Yeah, it's-
Board of Canvassers, let's see.
So if you have-
Board of Canvassers does have a printing and reproduction line in it. It's low. And again, it's 00, appropriated 250 last year, or for the current year, spent 175 so far. So it could easily be, Ken, that the spend for the election cycle is rolled into that other department
But
instead
I'm
of
gonna bet the
appropriated.
election cycle ads, wherever the heck they are probably from July just to October. The polling places and so on. So if it hasn't been expended to now,
And I'm not
See where I'm
opposed to
going?
having something within it, but again,
but it's next year anyway, so it's
Right.
gonna happen. On the canvassing side, here, I don't know.
Right.
I have no idea. Because, just to clarify, so I clearly understand, this is not zoning, it's not anything else. So can anybody in the room tell me what she, our town clerk, would advertise for that's not voting, not planning, not zoning, not whatever?
We have to advertise for more.
but not advertising, this is printing and reproduction
I apologize.
specific.
I apologize.
Sorry, I just need to make sure we're,
No, I apologize. What do they need it for?
Do they have a copy machine?
So yeah.
I just need maintenance on that.
They do.
no, maintenance on machines is a separate category.
So 603.
A lot of the things that come through, like if you want to come in and look at an ordinance, or there's some things that are advertised, they'll print them out and they'll leave them on a counter so anybody can come and look at it, or and stuff like that, or they'll make a copy for somebody. That's the typical things that day in and day out. There are some copying stuff they do with records and stuff like that.
And again, I'm not opposed to having something in this one, but I went to 0 for the talking point.
Not to belay this, but Bob, is what you're, is what you're talking about like a town council agenda? Or is that what you're talking about?
Usually it's
Printing in the lobby?
Yeah, so they'll have it in the office if there's an ordinance
Okay.
coming up, or there's something on the agenda that's going to be voted on that the public wants to look at. So they usually make a copy and they keep it out. So their expense isn't huge, but there is some expense to copy and all that.
Okay, but why isn't that in office, whatever, because I'm assuming paper and toner and all that's in the other category. Why are they printing?
Correlates with the voting they had.
And why is it every
So
year?
my understanding, sorry sir, my understanding is the printing and reproduction is external printing.
Correct.
It's
That's
not
what I'm
done
thinking.
in the building, it's done
Yeah,
through.
there's not a lot of that. Like I said, most of it's internal.
Yeah.
Um,
And that hits your office supplies, not your
yeah,
printing.
I think that number, because it was higher in 23, 24, I think it correlates with the, like, voting in elections, and they have to print things they'll send things out for each polling place to have printed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
they buy,
And it
they
doesn't
do
come out of
more
canvas.
of that I don't want to use the word advertising,
Right.
but more, putting signs up
Yep.
and all that stuff. Like, I think it correlates with the election and where we have one. this year.
Now, should that sit within the Board of Canvassers versus in the town clerk?
Oh, I didn't hear you said.
Should that sit within Board of Canvassers or instead of town clerk? Or is that just a very specific, narrow engagement?
Well, because going back to my comment, it is every other year, so it has to be, it sounds like it's being
Right.
linked to
It's being
election.
linked to the,
It's not zoning or
right,
things
it's
you-
being linked directly to,
I mean, it could go under the Board of Canvassers.
it can go into, 100% go into Board of Canvassers.
Can I think we should just move it to the Board of Canvassers, you figure out how to do that.
Okay.
I just think, because it's so cyclical, it makes
Yes.
total sense to do that.
Yep. Okay, so we'll stay with 0 here. When we do address Board of Canvassers, we will add in, Ken, can you keep a note that when we do hit that
Sure.
to just to
The
revisit?
secretary.
You know, that's right, Joe.
Go ahead, keep track of that.
Okay, dues and conferences is the same conversation. It was $742 over the 2-year average. I held it at the average. And then telephone was, and again, great example here. It was $444 over a 2-year period. I left a modest increase going up to $600 in there. So I didn't cut everything down to 0. Any feedback on the 3 yellow line items?
So is telephone just like the best guess of like,
No.
No, they're actuals. Oh, well, we have.
I didn't know if like the town hall just had like a $10,000, I'm just making up a number, $10,000 phone bill, and then this department had 5 people, so.
It's 5X.
Yeah.
I don't care how it's out, it's cost accounting.
No,
Right.
It's based upon monitor.
Allocate cost,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I just had no idea how it was coming.
Does anyone have, okay, so, and does anyone have any feedback on the non-highlighted items? Because again, we can still address the things I didn't modify within this.
So as of right now, we didn't change anything, correct? Except to take the $1,000. Well, you already took it.
That was already out of the number.
So is it 400,862?
Yes and no, because we have the salary line item still that we haven't
Oh, okay.
discussed. So it's this, the only modification in there is the move to 2.5% merit versus 3% merit. There's 1 employee impacted in that department. So that puts the total appropriation recommendation at $400,862. That is a 2.2% reduction.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over the salaries?
So there are 3 CBA covered employees, 1 non-CBA. And for that person, in alignment across the board, it's a 2.5% merit increase. There were no other modifications. Any other questions on
Did you
the
say 0.8% increase?
2.2,
Negative 2.2.
negative 2.2%? So Ken, it's going off of the base appropriation,
Keep
so the
going.
FY
I won't
'26.
stop you. I just want to
Okay.
make sure. You go on.
Oh, wait, okay, so it's the,
The change was at negative $9,053.04.
okay, so that's what we're off.
But should it be 400 grand, 862 minus 404,027?
No, because it's based off of the prior year's appropriation, not off of the recommendation.
So it's off of prior.
Because the prior year's appropriation
That's
is
what
where
I
we...
think. I apologize. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right.
No, I appreciate the accuracy. So with the 3 modifications to the town manager's recommendation, recognizing we will add to the canvassers, and then the modification to the merit, that puts the recommended appropriation at $400,862. Can I have a motion, please?
So
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? None. Excellent. We are making progress here. The planner, Department 7, municipal planner. This one is one of the more challenging departments. It is a department that is growing rapidly within our town. There are a lot more demands on this department. And with that, you see a lot more year-over-year increases. I do not know the right tack to take on these. They need to grow. There needs to be additional appropriation here. The question and the challenge is how much additional appropriation. So within this department, it's the same concept as before, where we have several modifications or reductions to the town manager's recommendation, plus a modification to the salaries and wages line item. As we're getting used to the salaries and wages, I will address that first, especially it was part of our prior discussion. So we do have 2 non-CBA employees at the 2.5% versus the 3%. We do have that 1 vacancy for the assistant town planner, and this was the discussion we had related to the grant writer.
Well, and we also, with all due respect, we don't have fiscal 24 and 25 in there. They're all blank for the individual people. So there's really no way to trend it.
We do have top line numbers, not
I understand, but then it's
individualized.
hard.
Right.
I'm not going to vote for anything on a non-union employee that's over that, unless there is specific justification, salary surveys or whatever. I'm just not.
So
For
one.
non-union, I'm saying, non-union.
Okay, so the planning director, so part of what explains the year-over-year changes is the planning director was hired in August of 2025, and then did have an increase in February of 2026. I have a comment that the recommendation, because he is still, I mean, that is still relatively new in role, with the merit target increase puts it a little about 4% over the base hiring amount. So it recognizes there are multiple merit years covered in there, but still newer in role. So, but it's not to the level of the original recommendation. But again, this is a discussion point.
Taking on merit, because merit's, well, for non-union, it's discretionary,
Right.
correct? Right, it is discretionary. It's not longevity, which is contractual.
Right.
It's large. I'm just gonna say it that way. Unless I'm not seeing the numbers correctly.
So in the FY25 actual expenses, there was only a partial year for this individual. There was also, and correct me, sir, there was someone else in role prior within this. I mean, there must be, because there's expenses in there, but they weren't there the whole year either. So there was a gap which would artificially repress your actual expenses for the year, because you would have a gap in the, or you would have a vacancy in the role.
There was in this current year, there was June and July that, and he came in sometime in August.
Yes.
And then in a year previous, Mike retired
Yep.
in February, March.
So that explains, we only have a couple years of partial expense recognitions because of a gap in staff.
Plus, I think it's a huge increase from what Mike was getting paid as well. So if we went to a more reasonable salary, I'm not sure how we based it on with other towns and things of that sort, but that was the big increase from the previous.
So to answer part of your question, because I have asked the question about how we do salary setting within the town for non-CBA, and it's in alignment with the Rhode Island League.
Yes.
They do a salary survey every year of all the cities and towns, and they publish it on their website, so you can see the last, like, I think 5 years, 6 years of salary surveys.
So can someone tell us what that is, so we have a baseline to do this from?
There's so there's all the different, we have a survey from the league. I mean,
I understand.
Caitlin has it, she can send it out.
But there had to be a justification. All I'm asking, it's a very simple question, is if you went to a salary survey, which I just mentioned, right? Because we use salary surveys all the time. What all I'm asking for is that number. If you came up with a number, please tell us the number. If planning salaries, and we've heard about this for your position, the salaries have gone up. Okay, I'm okay with that. You know, as long as there's a salary survey to back it up.
Right.
That's all I care about. Anyone disagree? I mean, it's just the baseline of how we make our decisions.
What difference is it going to make at this point?
I don't know, because I don't know what the baseline is, and I don't know what.
For the baseline for him, we know, for the individual.
Well, he came in higher. It's what I'm hearing. It's what I'm hearing.
That's 2024.
Well, but that's not what they would
20.
use.
2026.
Oh, okay. I couldn't find that.
Because everybody understands he came in higher. I don't have a problem with that, because that's the discretion of the town.
Yes.
But it was based on
He
competitive
came,
stance. That's what we do.
so he came in at 110.
Yes.
The average, let's see, Bristol is 113, Barrington is 107, Coventry is
Lincoln.
118.
How about Lincoln? Just 'cause it's.
Lincoln, I think theirs is distorted, it's 108, but I think they just hired somebody. It
Okay.
could be higher than that. in
partially.
their
So we're
current
talking about
budget.
108s to 110s to whatever. Is that
Yeah, it's
113.
about, well, actually, it's about 100,000 up to, let's see, the highest one is 150 in Providence, 145 in Tiverton, 130 in Woonsocket, 155 in Newport, 123 in Middletown.
I mean, here's what I want to see. Does anybody disagree? If we had the median salary, forget Providence, you got to go to kind of with the cities. If we had a median salary of what the latest salary, I would be happy with that. I would
But
say-
that's what we are using
That's
the
what they-
survey from fiscal year
I understand.
26.
That's all I wanted, was what you just
Yeah.
explained, which you didn't have until today.
So I would say from what we have here,
I think
we're
I printed it out the
fine.
last couple of years, but I didn't want to print it out this year. It's pretty long.
Unless there's disagreement, I would say that the numbers are good.
Are in line.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, the one variation here, so it's the approval of the vacant assistant planning director. Now, I did originally have that zeroed out, but I had the grant writer staff. Then I flip-flopped them and staffed this role and zeroed out the grant writer. So this could be, if we add that grant writer back in, this could be a significant increase in the total cost.
Correct.
That we have to be aware of.
So was this position filled before? Is that why it's now vacant?
No, this is a new
So it's a
one.
brand new position.
Brand new position.
And it's never existed in this department?
Which is why it's ripe to, you find the person with the grant experience.
So we'd rather just have a grant writer continue?
Yeah,
That's what we talked about earlier.
Right, and I'm
Just
okay
let the
with that.
assistant planning director do
I
assistant
I
planning.
think, I just want to express, like, our feelings is the position that we are filling for assistant planning director is not a grant writing position. It's for, that department needs, there is a lot going on in that department, and they need an assistant with the right qualifications to assist her.
I don't challenge you.
So I don't want you guys to do this correlation between a grant writer and an assistant planner, because we're not hiring
Understand.
this person with assistant planning qualifications and grant writing
Understand.
qualifications. We're
And
not-
remember, it was a talking point, not a directive when I came up with the idea.
But let me ask the question I always ask all the time. What are we not doing today, using data? What are we not doing today because we're falling behind, whatever? What are we not doing today that if we didn't have this position, we're not going to be able to do tomorrow?
I think
I
there
appreciate
was-
everything you said.
If you look in the answers to the questions that Greg sent,
Okay.
he answers a lot of those
Data?
questions. He has what is not getting done and what needs to be done and the future of that department. So when somebody, I don't remember who sent the questions out to Greg, but
wasn't mine.
when he answered them very thoroughly.
Who's on that team? It wasn't me, I'm sorry.
I don't recall.
The answer
No, us.
didn't make it into the spreadsheet. I do remember seeing,
Yep,
We
I
look
know
at it.
that.
I think it is worth looking at. But I want to be fair.
Well, can I?
I can't
Greg is
remember if I
doing-
uploaded them.
Is doing the comprehensive plan.
Right.
Typically, I think we had $50,000, $60,000 a few years back, when we look back, to have somebody do the comprehensive plan. Greg's doing that in-house. he's a good guy, he's a great guy.
It's a good
He's
asset.
doing that in-house, so he's saving us that money. Where we're falling behind is we're way behind on all the housing ordinances that have been updated, and other ordinances is where we're falling behind. There's no way somebody's gonna be able to do the ordinances and do as many grants together. It can't happen, it's not gonna happen.
So I guess a question I have, listening to a recent town council meeting, there was a challenge related to clarification of one of the ordinances, one of the zoning items for hotel occupancy.
Yeah.
There was one area that it was limited to 100, but everywhere else it was 150.
No.
Would this be part of what this assistant would catch, he would catch this type of thing and keep the areas in
No,
line?
it's always been 100.
Okay.
It was raised to 150. That's what the.
And then this one just lagged behind because it was coded slightly different?
It's
No,
because
it
the
was over
ego,
100.
it was only, that was an ego thing.
Right.
Yeah, it was because it was in the Eagle District.
Correct.
Right, but it was out of, like, there was a stated cap, but it was out of alignment with anything else that would allow a hotel, allowed higher.
No, it requires-
Would a planner catch that type of
No,
misalignment?
this was correct the way it was. It had to be, the Eagle District ordinance, it had to be updated. This-
Which is
But
where.
that's what the planning department
Exactly.
does.
So that's actually exactly my point, is one of the things that we're not doing is proper reviews of our different, like, zoning ordinances and the different kind of rules of how the town operates would be caught with this extra staffing that we had a 3-hour town council meeting the other night because we didn't have, well, I mean, a lot of it was something else as well, but there was a significant time on the hotel because there was a discrepancy in how we aligned our different areas.
My understanding, I was there, I listened. My understanding is we only changed the ego, or did I miss?
It's not I wouldn't say it's a discrepancy.
It's not a discrepancy.
It was zoned
just,
that
we
way.
had,
We just had to change the Eagle District.
just the ego. We didn't
Right.
change it for town, so that's,
Right, no, you're right, we didn't change, something that was otherwise zoned hotel didn't change. We changed that one.
that
Yes,
parcel,
Yeah.
correct.
or that area.
We need a comprehensive rewrite
That's how
of
it
our
was
zoning
said.
ordinance.
And that's not
match
happening,
all the
right?
changes in the state
That's what we
law.
want to do.
But to answer, I can't remember who asked the question, but someone asked the question, what are we not doing or what are we missing out by not having this? The answer is the complete review and rewrite of our zoning ordinances.
And Councilman Ionati and I have talked about it, in the past, and he's always stressed, and he recognized that, and he can see the need, because what happened was we got all these new housing ordinances the last couple of years, all of our stuff's behind now. So it's a lot of work, it's a ton of work.
So here's my issue with this. I agree with what you're saying, I know what the councilman has said, but we're putting 90 or 45, forget that.
45 for the year.
90 or 45, let's just go with that, I get it. What are they gonna do next year? And that's
Right.
what, we continue to get new positions. And I'm trying to find it, if somebody can show me where his, because that wasn't my team. I'm trying to find where his answers are. That's all I want to find out, because once we institutionalize a position in government, it's there. That's all I'm saying. So I agree, we've got to redo the comprehensive plan. It's probably going to be a team effort between Greg and whoever you hire in this person, or the assistant. We ultimately have 3 I'm assuming they're full-time equivalents.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So we have 3 FTEs making a variety of different things. I mean, and this person's coming in at 90, which is higher than the assistant town planner who's been.
He's the assistant to the
To the
council.
town- oh,
Assistant too.
I
This is a
apologize.
different,
I apologize.
yeah.
But,
Well,
He's only been there 2 years.
but it's not a, with all due respect to Donna, it's not a secretary, correct? It's not.
No.
Okay,
it's kind of a little stuff.
So it's not the assistant, meaning they're planning their schedule, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because it's 65 grand, that's not,
No, it's not a secretary position.
okay. So they're doing professional work,
Yeah, to the level that they have the
that they have
qualifications.
qualifications to do.
But the other thing Greg wants to do with this person, which he needs as well, he's gonna write up all the decisions of the planning board, and that's another pain. That's a lot of work. And Greg's doing this all, and the planning board's got a lot on that plate, and it's not slowing down. So he needs help in that area. When somebody submits an application for a project, there's a lot of review involved with that. And it's just, and then these things aren't going, we got 150 permits right out in town right now of projects going on. and his project's coming in that haven't been approved yet, obviously, so it's very, very busy.
Are
Very
there
busy.
application fees with those permit applications? And could we double or triple the fee? Because that would take care of a bunch of different problems, and slow down the growth. No, seriously.
No, we need to, it won't slow the growth down, it will generate some more money.
Well, that's
And
after
we need to
that.
look at all the fees, to be honest with you, because we need, that's something we need.
Is that something this person would be able to do?
For the planning department, yeah.
Right.
Planning-
Yes.
yeah. But we have other fees within
Yes.
town government that would need to be reviewed.
Councilwoman,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a comment in relation to this exact item. So it is my understanding that our previous planner has been working there part-time. So I guess my question would be, is he going to continue into fiscal '27, and where would that be on there?
So the answer is we would like the new person to pick up and move on.
Okay, so we wouldn't be both then? Oh, all
if
right.
that's happening, I do not see a budgetary line item for it.
Wasn't it under the consultant line item?
Oh, is that the consulting services?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, that helps.
Okay, then that should be taken out. The 12,000 should be taken out.
Well, we have other.
There are other consulting services.
Services that are done in that department.
Well, then can somebody answer in the room, how much was this extra person of the $12,000 that's going to be done by the other person?
So I think you can actually
Well, we're
see
getting
that
rid
in
of
the year-over-year numbers. So FY '24 and FY '25 averaged 10,451 before this person was operating as a consultant. When you look at like the the FY '27 request was 50,000. I'm guessing that assumes a lot higher engagement, but it's not justified in the numbers, in the
The
averages.
20 wouldn't be either.
Right.
Never mind
So
50.
why would the 12 be?
Well,
Well, because it's
discussion
got previous expenditures in the previous
We
2
do
years.
have consulting
In those
expenditures.
$10,000 years, Mike was still the town planner. And we had consulting services expenditures.
So, how much of this is not the part-time services that is being filled in by Mike? How much of this is true consulting services? That's the
Out of the
main-
12,000?
Yeah, well,
It's
out of the
gonna
20.
be-
Go start with the 20.
Well, I think,
Or the 50.
Greg
About 10,000.
wanted more he thinks with the new comprehensive plan and all that, we're gonna need some consulting services. But we had downed it to 20.
Especially if he
Greg's
doesn't have
request.
the assistant planner. I think that's the key thing.
But
Right,
these-
and he doesn't have the assistant, and
Well, why have both? What do you-
No, I agree.
That's where I'm trying to go with this.
Mhm.
Why?
we're not.
And I'm not
so that
suggesting giving a zero line item. I'm
Right.
not suggesting that because there could be external people that need to do the heavy lifting.
Especially with all.
But if we're going to put that budget item in, then this has to be looked at. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and
Truly consulting.
it is from the, again, the estimated talking point recommendation.
Caitlin, is that the stenographer come out of there also?
That's what I was just going
I think
Or
the
or
start
does
does
that come out of
here.
the planning budget? I can't off the top of my head.
No, I think the
And that's-
stenographer might come out of there, and the secretary comes out of the planning budget, but I could
Oh, that's
be,
right, yeah, yes. the
I
That should be
could
going to the other
be
place.
wrong.
But that, okay, you just brought my other question. You said a little earlier that he needs to put together all the minutes from, if there's a court stenographer, a recorder
Yes.
there, whatever you want to call it, they are generating a document.
They come out of planning. There's a part-time line item in the planning
Nobody's
board.
listening to
Which
what I
is-
just said. I just heard a little while ago that the planner has to spend time looking over the planning minutes. To
No.
do what?
No, he has to write the ruling of the planning department, of the planning board.
He's writing a letter. I'm not minimizing.
Report, yeah.
He's
He has
writing
to write a ruling of all, he's got to quote all the ordinances and all the other stuff. That's not, the secretary doesn't do
I
that.
understand, but that's a letter. I'm not trying to minimize what
It
he's
is a
doing.
letter, but you've got to have a lot of knowledge about the codes.
I understand.
It's like a court clerk.
A
Yeah.
secretary can't do that.
Then I go back to my first question, then. How much of this is, true? If the $20,000 is for the court stenographer, or whatever you want to call this person, I'm okay. But if it's to backfill what we're hiring a new position for, then I don't understand. Am I missing something, Ian?
No, that's why the 12,000 is reasonable, because the 2 years.
That's all I'm
for
saying.
10
It
and-
seems like it's a bridge between the two.
Yes.
We're
Okay.
paying someone
That's all I'm
until we
saying.
get someone on board. and
Because we
we're
can't
just
get rid of it
separating
because we have a
I
stenographer.
think 50 was way out.
And you're gonna have more planning meetings, probably not less. That's my guess.
We've been having more.
That's what I just.
Yeah, I like that terminology. It's a bridge between the two, between getting
Understand.
the assistant planner versus having the part-time
Okay.
worker. So as it sits right now, we have the assistant planner vacancy approved within this. Again, we don't approve vacancies or not. That's a town council rule, but we have the budgetary recommendation for it. And then for the individual line items, this is a challenging area because so much of it has experienced zero cost. And even year to date having zero cost. So official travel, publications and subscriptions, both of those line items had some appropriation in FY26. Halfway through the year had no recognized expenditures. So the question is, do they need multiple hundred of percent increases within those line items? And I don't, again, it's not, I don't have a definitive answer on that. I did, for conservative purposes, reduce those recommendations, but there are discussion points, and that holds true across the board. So I had recommended 500 for travel, 750 for publications, 2,000 for printing and reproduction. That's still an increase over the prior appropriation and the year, but it's not the full 3,000. 1,500 for dues and conferences. Again, looking at multi-year averages, it's still an increase over multi-year averages. 12,000 for consultant services, we just discussed that. 500 for office supplies and maintenance. Going from a few $100s a year up to $6,000 a year is a bit painful, and I don't see the justification there. 500 might be a bit overly restrictive. And then 800 for telephone services, which is in line with prior engagements. That might need to go up if we're hiring that assistant planner.
So just through all this, I have 350, 470.
Yes, that is the total
Which is
existing recommendation.
6.8% negative. Because I finally got the right.
38% 38% increase,
Because of hires.
because we have incremental headcount, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I keep doing the town managers budgets.
Okay. So with respect to the yellow, or again, with respect to any of it, what talking points do we have? What challenges? Again, some of it, even I say, could be overly restrictive. But it's a startup, that's the challenge. And I would rather have a startup department go talk to our town council and say, I need some additional funding. Here's why. We have an influx of an extra 100 permits or ordinances that we need to review. We can always approve, or well, the town council can always approve additional funding if need be. I don't want to artificially pad the general fund from the get-go.
Correct. Make a motion.
Yeah.
Almost set.
Can we make a motion?
We'll start with Bill.
Go.
Well, I think we have someone who wants
I'm
to.
trying to think of how to say it. Do we know if there's going to be an influx of permits that we need more consulting for, like, or do we not know that? We're just guessing.
I don't know that we know it.
I'll withdraw.
I mean, because
If we knew that we were like someone like, oh, they're gonna do a 500.
I mean, that question is a larger kind of,
I'm just saying if we knew it,
like town and Rhode Island and Northeast
Yeah.
kind of financial question, and we don't know where the economy is, so.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a great question, I mean,
Yes.
I
just
just.
like,
Right.
somebody knew, like, somebody was looking at it, like, they bought a piece of land, so you know, like, 6 months from now. they're gonna-
But that's when you go into contingency.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's-
that's fair.
We're running out of
It's a
land,
great
Josh.
question.
So can I have a motion for the $350,470? A second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No one. Excellent.
So it's a 37% increase?
38%, or I mean, I've got it rounded, 38.0 could
Yeah,
be
okay, I just-
something else there.
I'll see if I'm getting it right.
Moving on to the treasurer tax collector department.
We're giving her nothing.
I got 4 mouths, lots of mouths to feed.
To bring them to games or whatever.
So this department, as far as the salary line item, is the same. There are 4 individuals that are non-CBA that I have highlighted in blue within the working file. They are all flagged for a 2.5% merit increase. There were no vacancies for consideration. Within the core department itself, and I'll zoom in. Again, we have the salary. We have the areas I didn't touch. We will see modest modifications to those as the salaries do change. But then we do have the more amenable to modification lines. So looking at official travel. Now, this is one area I did cut down based on original, and actually this would be a great question since we do have a representative in the room. What is considered the official travel? Is it attending these meetings? Is it other items in there?
Yeah, no, this year I was planning on going to the New England GFOA and a lot more Rhode Island GFOA.
And
So by car, but not by
Uber.
plane.
Not by Uber?
Not by Uber, but.
And does some of that fall under dues and conferences as well?
So the dues are for,
Your
dues and
dues.
conferences would be for the actual conference in itself.
So the ticket to get in,
Yeah.
and then the mileage just comes out of the official
And then the
travel.
mileage comes from
Yeah.
travel expenses, and I have a few people that have association dues that I'm part of the Rhode Island GFOA, the New England GFOA, the GFOA.
Yeah.
I'm a member of all those.
So with those board members,
But-
looking at the historic spend, which is right about, let's see, 1,623, I would actually modify this 1,000 to like a 1,750. Again, it's more in line with the historic spend.
That's fair.
And then the official travel,
Well, one question with that, Amy,
Yes.
is that we've only expended $209 so far?
I didn't do much this year, I apologize.
Yeah, so.
well, and then that does go to the earlier comment of I want to support conferences, but I don't want to build in.
Did you go to conferences yet?
I did, I went
She
to
did?
Tuesday.
All right, I didn't know, so.
Did those costs hit before or after the generation of the Excel file?
After.
See, there we go.
Well, yeah,
I
because
went
we
to
got a whole bunch
Waltham.
of months
Yeah, I
in
went to
there. Right.
Waltham not that long ago.
Yeah.
Another.
All right, see?
So it does make sense to bump up like the official travel to 750 and the conferences to 1750 in alignment.
Mileage rate doesn't,
Yeah, it's like.
Whatever, yeah,
it's
the
what you
government
have-
has it.
Yeah, the government gives you
Yeah.
mileage rate. Yeah.
So that keeps it in alignment with historic spend. And I would challenge, it's not an increase at that point.
It's 2,700
Right.
increase, right? Because you have it at 754, 559,
754, 559 total, yes.
which is 0.37. I mean, I think she deserves 0.4, but let's just.
Hey, my rounding shows 0.4 because I cut off that decimal point there.
Okay, so you put seven, I was doing mine at 1750, okay.
Yeah, 1750
Yeah.
and 7.
Okay.
And I do have 4,000 in for office supplies. Now, this is one of the more complicated ones because there's 3 separate line items merging together. And it's a challenge to try to draw down, and this is one of those areas where I'm matching the prior year's appropriation. Let's try to draw down how much we are expending on our office equipment and office supplies.
I think off-season, we have to work on this. If it's town hall equipment, to recharge that. I'd like to hear from you outside of this at some point in time. Is it really worth it to assign it to a cost center? Unless you're gonna do it for the state government. Because it's kind of hard to figure out if you have 2 copiers, 3 copiers, 3 printers, and it's just kind of impossible to know.
And then the final line item is the telephone, which I reduced from the 8,000 to 6,500, which is a modest increase over the 62, 67 average.
I'd like to hear what that is. You probably, the tax collector's office is probably getting most of it.
Seems like a lot for that department.
We have a lot of employees, so it is, we do get one bill, and then it's a percentage of each department.
Yep.
So like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in my department,
Seven
compared to the
phones.
tax assessor's office, who has 3. So
I
it's
see,
like-
I see 6 on the salary sheet. Who's number 7?
So the project coordinator is also, she's situated in my office, so that's another phone that gets used.
What department would I see that funding under?
The town managers.
Okay.
She's specifically in your physical office? Okay.
Phase 1, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know what you meant office, like, is it?
No, like she's not in my office, she's in my big office. I have an office, and then there's the tax collector's office, and there's room in there.
So with the line items we have here, are there any other talking points that we want to address? Any modifications to what's on the screen?
So we're still at 754, 550.
Yes, can I have a motion for 754, 559 for the treasurer tax office? Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
None. Excellent. We are cruising.
I'm going to teach you how to do freeze panes.
Oh, trust me, Ken, there's not much you could teach me in Excel. I just didn't do it.
You're not doing it here, or no, somebody isn't, I don't know.
Okay, moving on to the Department 9, the tax assessor. Same plan in place. So for salary, there is one non-CBA covered employee in there at a 2.5% increase. And then for the kind of more controllable lines, I modified the official travel gas reimbursement. And this is interesting because this shows up differently between the different departments, where in the last one it was a different title or description versus this department.
That's a gas reimbursement.
Right. So in this one, so we have that one I went down to 5,000, which is, I will point out, a reduction in the average.
Is it actual gas reimbursement, or is it just the rate like we were talking about before? Okay.
You're all subject to, we use the same thing, we use the federal
That's the
average.
IRS amount.
Right.
Alright.
So I guess part of the question is, with this department, for the tax assessor department, what's this travel? Because that's a very significant line item compared to other departments for, yes, thank you, it's getting a bit dark in here.
About like that, just so you can still see the line.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about it. I assume they have to go to the properties.
Is there any chance we can turn this roll off?
Yeah, of course.
Do you mind?
Well, we have a consultant that does that as well, but he must maybe follow up on the few.
We have, the tax assessor's office does all the permits. So they have to go out, and if there was a deck, built, if there was they go out and inspect all the permits that were, and make sure that they're there, and also on the property that are part and all that stuff.
That's alright.
We have a company that does the revale, but every few years, but they
Mostly
go out and
permanent,
do
okay.
I mean, that speaks. Do I have a recommendation then? I mean, the request was for 7,500. The 2-year FY24 and FY25 averages were 7,000. Do we go to 7,500? Do we try to hold them down at 7,000?
Do we know what's been spent so far, Caitlin, on this?
3,000, well.
No,
it says
because we have
seven.
another one which is 9 months instead of 6 months.
I can pull it up.
Just pull it up for a minute so we can look at it, because those numbers are really important for this meeting, because we can gather 3 more months of data to help make decisions. 6 months is not enough, but 9 months is more realistic.
Well, if we're doing this, and it's a good point.
I just wanted to look at this.
We really should be having the February 28th.
6,000 they've spent so far this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's putting them at that 7,500 mark.
Yeah.
So I have no objections to moving that to 7,500 if that's the general idea.
I agree.
Printing and reproduction is in line with the multi-year average. Education and training is actually an increase over the multi-year average. Dues and conferences is an increase over the multi-year average. Office supplies is a slight pullback from the multi-year average. And then telephone is I went with the requested amount there. So for the rest of the line items, is there anything that anyone sees that they would change or modify? Councilwoman?
Mr. Chair, I think it's relevant to this discussion. I'm not sure if you're aware that, I would say legality aside, the tax assessor, I don't know if you know, he's doing 2 jobs right now, and he's making more money.
I did not know that.
Okay, so we were advised that, he was working as the deputy town manager, and that, so I don't know if that's gonna continue. Obviously, it's relevant to your discussion in that, I don't know if that's in there.
No, it's not in that department.
Okay, so which department?
They've already, that was in the town managers and you guys didn't fund that.
That was the chief of staff?
They didn't fund our chief of staff, yeah, whatever you want to call it. They didn't
How was
fund
it-
that.
So he's making, no, I understand that, but right now, there's a discrepancy, I would think, unless,
Well, and
The
chief of
increase.
staff was not
We didn't fund
funded
it last
for
year.
last year either, so.
well,
and-
chief of staff and deputy town manager are completely different.
Well, I think it technically, it's the same thing was the point. I think whatever they want to call him, I think they decided.
But he's
on
doing the
deputy
job
town.
now, and I don't know if that's gonna be continuing, we don't know. It's apparently a trial period, whatever. It's, like I said, it's relevant to your discussion, because if, you move forward, you're gonna need to know where that is in there.
I know you're getting confused by,
It's
I
it.
can just, it's that $20,000 one.
But to her question,
But that's 2 different job titles, so
I know,
why would it not
I
be called
will-
that?
I'll
You know what I mean?
change it.
but to your point, where is he, because it's legal, he's a public official, is he getting an additional stipend for doing quote, quote, 2 jobs? And where is that coming from? I think,
Well, that's my point.
Right, right.
That
So
you
where
need
is it
to know
coming
that
That
from?
would be a question.
And I don't know how much
You
extra
don't-
it is either.
It's gonna come from the town manager's budget.
but
Because that's
where?
where it would, this fiscal year's, so it would be over, that town manager's budget would be over this year.
I don't know, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
there's no logged expenses in the.
Well, because it started last month.
Oh, okay.
Started last
So it
month?
just
It
started?
started, I think it was
a few
April
months
1st,
ago.
Right.
or was it May 1st?
Town
I
council's
don't know.
aware.
I thought it was, I
Yeah,
can't.
I'm not sure
my
how the
email
hiring
address,
process
but,
works at the time.
Okay.
It was definitely over a month ago.
Can we have?
I think it was April 1st.
Okay, so it's 1 full calendar month by this point.
At least.
So can you please provide us with the information of where that extra stipend, or whatever you want to call it, because he's an employee, so you're going to pay FICA and all that other happy stuff. Could you please tell us what chart of accounts that's going to and how much it was, please?
And so for the
So
tax.
it's currently, I think it's
Yep.
currently coming out of his line item for tax assessor.
Well, and that's, and you're right, but that's what I want to know. Is that going to go over budget, or as she is alluding to, is it going to stay in that line item for 0101 under his, or is it going to be,
It'll be his line item for the next,
so it's going to
3
go
months.
over budget this year, theoretically, and then reverse back to his original salary?
Well, assuming they retain that additional duties and responsibilities for the remainder
but
of the year.
you guys
You zero it out.
took the
Right.
funding out.
Well, but for the remainder of FY '26, that's something for the town council to take up as to someone in a role that they're not otherwise approved to be.
I guess the only question rhetorically I would ask, and the 2 people behind me, you don't have answers, is
I just remember last
to
year.
approve that, because it's going to go over.
Right.
That's a whole separate issue.
Okay.
That-
In my opinion.
and that's why I don't want to go too far into
But
that
at least
right
it's on
now.
the record.
Yes.
It's on the record.
So for Department 9 for the tax assessor for FY '27, we do have the line items in place here. I haven't heard any challenges. We did appropriate the official travel and gas back to match the town manager's request. The other line items, do we have any challenges or modifications anyone wants to make?
Well, I only have one. I just want to tie this button. If you look at the 09 salary, the 98 grand isn't including that stipend.
Correct.
So we're dealing with apples and apples here, correct? Okay, just want to be sure. So then the total salaries, which is for the
232,636.
233,116, and you know, whatever we decide to recommend. So
Yep.
that's not going to change. Where it happens for what happens in fiscal 26.
That's a different
That's
conversation for other people. So I'm not hearing any modifications to the yellow line items or any of the other line items. Can I have a motion to approve?
Can I just?
Yes, sir.
353,680
Yes, sir.
and 4% even?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just trying to help you.
Go ahead and make the motion.
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.
The easy category, buildings.
Buildings. Within the salary line, we have one non-CBA. It's the same story of 2.5% merit put in for that individual. Yep. And then for the rest of the line items, we do have 4 that I varied off of the town manager's recommendation. The first was publications and subscriptions. I zeroed it out. There's been no spend there. There was $382 a couple of years ago. None the last prior year, none year-to-date now. I don't feel the need to fund a line item that's inconsistently used.
I'm glad you found it.
I do want to point out, because it is a large line item within this budget, the special personnel services at $55,000. Within this, those are the contractors that go out for the various inspections. So if you need an electrical inspection, a deck footing inspection, that's the funding that they are paid from.
Okay.
Just for the informational purposes.
So those are contracted services that we have somebody who
We
is a
have someone
contractor,
go
and they
out,
go out
we
to
have an
my house,
electrical inspector, we have a plumbing inspector, a mechanical
and they just go
inspector.
based on the building permit.
They go when
Yeah.
needed.
I had it on my house. Okay, cool.
I didn't modify the official travel gas reimbursement. The town manager dropped it below the department recommendation and below the averages. There are some times that, hey, if they're willing to reduce it, I'm not going to argue on it. With most instances here. Dues and conferences, I put at the, or just above the average 2-year official spend. The office supplies and maintenance,
We're pretty high on that compared to the 2-year.
well, it's because of, you have to look at the 2-year for office supplies, maintenance, and office equipment. This is where the categories are merged.
Okay.
For the new spend. So, like if you look at the appropriation for FY26, it was appropriated at $6,000. We're looking, it was appropriated at $4,000.
4,000.
And I'm recommending $3,000 on it. Again, trying to pull back on some of those expenses. Let's use some of the equipment that we have. Let's use some of our existing supplies.
Caitlin, who provides us with the office supplies?
Say that again?
Who provides us with the office supplies?
WB Mason.
Mason does?
Yes.
Okay. Because we're running a complex and Staples gave us a very competitive quote, so it's all done with one company.
So it's WB Mason, or if we can find it cheaper, we get it on Amazon.
Okay.
But it's all individual department orders. They don't do bulk consolidated
The only
ordering.
bulk
That's something we're
orders we do
discussing.
is
Paper.
paper,
Paper.
Okay.
like copy paper.
So is
Because you have
there
one
be a
stop.
cost savings if we did it in bulk for everyone?
That's the discussion after we exit this budget cycle. That's one of the things Ken was talking to a few meetings back was let's move to a bulk warehouse system.
Centralized store.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we need to try to cut costs. That's
Right.
the bottom line.
And then vehicles, there was a $3,000 request. I put it at $2,500, which is still, quite frankly, significantly over the multi-year spend average of $1,227. But looking at, the reason I left it that high is if you look at the year-to-date spend through the half-year mark, it was already at $1,700. So it looks like they're
That's how
trending.
old the vehicle is. So it's old.
Well, it's not a lease, sorry, it's not a rental back to the town. So is this mileage?
But the vehicle?
Yeah.
It's for any repairs that needs to be done.
Okay,
Right.
see, again, it goes back to the description. I'm thinking they're either renting something, you see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, so this is vehicle maintenance. Okay, the car or whatever is owned by the town.
Yep.
So this is for the building inspector, not for the subcontractor?
Correct.
No.
Okay, I'm just clarifying it, right, because that should be embedded in their rate.
Right.
So
Um,
this is vehicle maintenance?
Yes. So for the line items within the buildings department, any commentary, any updates or changes recommended?
So I have 48,483,116?
483,116, yes. And
2.7.
that is a 2 point, yeah, it's 2 point, I've got 2.8 with the rounding. Can I have a motion for an appropriation to the buildings department of 483,116?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Excellent.
Save.
Engineering department. Within the salaries, there are 2 non-CBA individuals. One of them is,
As you're thinking about that, is there a reason why on this spreadsheet we have a whole bunch of hide columns?
Because that reminds me to hide them before I print them out for the public.
For the,
yeah.
I thought it meant it was hidden for us.
It's
No.
just a-
No, I get it. No, I get it. No. I don't even want to see them.
Just to help my
sometimes.
brain remember.
Honestly, I don't want to see them sometimes either, to be honest.
So we have 2 non-CBA individuals there. They are in there related to the 2.5% merit increase. There were not a lot of modifications to the town manager's recommendation here. This is an interesting one. I did leave the $100 for publications and subscriptions. It hasn't been utilized. Also, so I mean, I go back and forth on that. It's only $100, but we're counting paper clips in other departments too. So if someone made the recommendation to zero it out, I wouldn't argue against it.
I think anything we get is going to help, because I don't think we're anywhere near 1.2.
All right.
I'm guessing, Ian, I apologize.
I mean, based on that comment, Ken, are you recommending we zero out that line item?
I would.
Thank you.
Is it publications and subscriptions?
Yes, sir.
0.
Tuition reimbursement, this was the comment I made earlier. I don't want to bake tuition reimbursement into the departments. If you look over the last couple of years, it hasn't been utilized to the appropriation. I would rather see the department go to the town council and kind of cheer on, here's the amazing things we're looking to do. We're investing in our people. I need to reimburse directly $2,183. So I would rather see that. We have town council meetings every other week. It's easy enough to get on the agenda for a quick hit item like that.
That could be a nice presentation at the beginning or the end of the fiscal year
Yep.
saying this is what we plan to do. Are these contractual? Because I have certain contractual things that education.
So we have a policy, contractual for them
For
to
the CBA,
take.
there's nothing in the CBA?
No.
Okay, so
But
this
we
is
do
only
have
policy?
a policy
Okay.
for tuition reimbursement.
Okay.
And I wholly support and encourage literally everybody take advantage of it. It's an amazing opportunity when you can. I took advantage of it with a former employer, and it helped me significantly. But I don't want it baked into our operating costs.
Back to your point, I'd like to see that. You know, that's told by, probably not you, it's probably HR, but it'd be nice to see that, what we're doing. Because that's a morale builder. We're investing back into our people.
Right. Yeah. Office supplies and maintenance, I put in at 1,500 versus the 2,000. That is, if we look at official spend across the category, it's a modest, it's right about in line, maybe a little higher than the 3 categories combined. It's not an unreasonable number, but we don't need to go all the way to 2,000 on it. And then vehicle maintenance, I put in line, actually I put increased over historic spend with the assumption that we need to invest in that vehicle. Oil changes are going up, tires are going up, things like that. So I don't want to get overly restrictive on keeping our people safe in the vehicles that they have to drive around for work.
Quick question for you, Caitlin, and it's collateral to it. Are those vehicles going to private services mechanics, or are they going to DPW? Okay, so that's really only for parts, because it's obvious, okay, that's fine. Good, thank you.
Any other discussion points on the engineering line items? All right, so I have a total of $419,889. That is a roughly 1.5%, Ken.
All set?
Can I have a motion for $419,889? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None.
It's gonna look pretty dumb on the camera, but it's okay. Just pointing, sorry, I'll put you.
Okay.
Switch it up.
I am
Get a little slap
waiting.
heavy.
I am waiting on some information and further feedback on the IT department. I did get some, I want to say either yesterday evening or today, I'm not sure which. I'd like to motion that we move the IT department to the bottom of the list.
Before we do that, here's my, I'd like to see whatever you're gonna get, because I'm not gonna precursor what you're doing. I'd like to see what we spent before, and when we move the deck chairs, what is it now?
And that's
There's a
some of the
large
data I'm
increase.
having a hard time getting.
And I've had to talk with David, not detailed to this, because it was about another technical issue with OneDrive. And there's also a large increase there. He's a great employee, he's a good, I'll call him a kid, he's a good young man, but if this is moving around the deck chairs, it should be only a COLA increase, or whatever, because he's non-union, correct?
He's not new.
He's non-union. That's my concern, it has to be a net zero here.
It's not.
I know.
And that's
I
what
know.
we're having a hard
That's-
time.
We talked about that during, I think, our
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, and I do have an email response from him, I want to say today, with some additional details on it. So I'm not prepared to present a recommendation to the board yet on the IT department.
That's one salary, 178?
No, if you're looking at the salary line, there is the IT director, a technology coordinator, and then an IT support specialist. Ultimately, the town manager recommended not staffing that specialist role. I did not disagree. We do have the director and the coordinator in there. There are changes, when we talk more about it, you'll see changes in year-over-year salaries, and there were job title changes. It lines up in the end, but the individuals had dramatic changes. So we'll talk more to that as we do talk about the.
I move the table. Do we have to, I move the table or do we just?
Okay, Caitlin, do we have to officially table it, or?
Well, I
we
just
can
made a
start
motion
saying-
to put,
Yes.
to discuss it at the end of the,
Yep, can I get a motion?
Motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
To do what? I'm
We're
sorry.
tabling the IT department.
Well, we're doing that, we didn't really officially table some other things, like municipal government, we didn't do that. I'm
We-
sorry,
we-
legislative
we-
policy. Did we? Table it?
I think we were gonna go back to that if we got the capital, if I guess we
Yeah.
got on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of the evening, we're gonna table anything, we're basically gonna table anything we don't address.
Okay, so it's
But,
1 in 10 so far.
yes.
yes,
Okay.
no, 1 in 11.
No, 1 in
12.
10, 1 in 10.
1 in 10.
On the agenda.
On the-
Oh, items one on the agenda, thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was looking at department numbers.
Sorry, I'm just trying to help you keep track of it.
Yes, thank you. The Human Services and Senior Center, so this is a merged department between two. It does make some of the numbers a little more difficult to view when you look at the historic data. But a lot of it is in here anyway. Caitlin did a good job trying to merge the two together.
The Human Services Department
It's tiny.
was very tiny. I think it was funded at like $10,000 this year,
Yeah.
so.
So most of what you see is
this
the Senior
budget
Center.
It's already there.
is
Senior center.
Senior Center.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember being like 2 lines.
Yeah.
So within the Senior Center,
So just before you, so then the only new thing is the new thing, that for the 1,000, 1,500, correct? That's coming over from the old.
So, no, under salaries,
Okay,
the
salaries.
Human Services Assistant is new this year.
Okay, I'm trying to do a zero-sum game here. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
there you go, Ken. So on the screen, you can see that they have the Senior Center Assistant as a vacant role. Now, in that case, the town manager had recommended not staffing the role, and I did not disagree. That role is not being included within the funding. I will say there is an administrative clerk part-time role. Hold on, I need to look at
That's not in row 18?
row 18, yes.
2025, right?
Which has been.
It was not staffed, that's what the...
But it has been staffed.
Oh, so it is officially staffed? Okay. All right, so that one changes the spreadsheet at this point. So I am not able to recommend modifying that. Is that a union, a CBA role, or a true part-time?
No, it's a true part-time.
Okay.
When was that staff, Caitlin, recently?
2 months ago?
Okay.
Could you, and tell me if this is a good way to do it, Ian, could you, because we don't have the old budget for the human services.
It was only $10,000.
Okay, it was only 10, so it's 10,
And that $10,000 went towards, I think it went towards salaries to the senior center.
well, also the programs.
Like some part-time, whoever he could get to help with human service stuff.
The only thing I'm asking, maybe give us two numbers next time. What was the split up versus, and it's 10, I get it, but some of that is in salaries. It's kind of hard to figure that out.
And so what they do have in here, so we do have the senior center director and the human services assistant. So the only non-CBA is the senior center director.
Correct, but it's also 0771 for the senior center programs.
Right.
So that would have been in the old budget, correct?
Yes, I have to do a whole
$5,000 or
new.
$6,000, right?
Yeah.
a whole
So-
new chart.
In this case, at this point, the only modification to the salary line, because I just had to add that part-timer back in since they've been staffed since the generation of the sheet, is the 2.5% for the non-CBA employee.
So what did you change that to, I'm sorry?
I matched the town manager's recommendation for that part-timer for the administrative clerk.
So you increased your number, your green number to 327,044?
No, that's, the part-timer is in a separate
Oh, I'm
line
sorry.
item. They're in 0103, it increased to,
51,092?
correct.
Okay, I'll just copy that to this.
Within the standalone departments, I reduced dues and conferences to $2,500. Office supplies to an appropriation of $5,000. Vehicle maintenance to $7,500. The human services programs, so that is funding for programs within the center itself, activities, engagements for people using
No, the
services.
human services programs are for anything that has to do with human service issues, like the,
Heating.
not the senior.
No,
Center
that's
stuff.
right. The
Okay,
senior,
I'm sorry,
but
yeah.
it's the same thing as senior center programs, except for the human services side.
So it's not really
Programs.
programs thinking of as
Bingo.
bingo or dances, or it's bringing in someone to, if someone says they need help at home with something, we're able to help them, bring
So
some
it's more
food to them.
outreach than
It's more
inreach.
outreach, that's a very
Probably better
good.
term.
It's more outreach, it's not
It's not a program, it's really outreach.
Yes.
Yeah.
That might be a better title.
Yes, that is a very, yeah.
So it's not
Yeah, that
heating
makes more
assistance or any of that stuff, it's not
No.
direct. So it is really programmatic, but it is outgoing, not them
Yes.
coming to the center.
Yes,
Not
so
on
say
site.
we want to go do a wellness check, because the human services department do wellness checks if someone asks.
Yep.
See, that's a challenge because we have other departments in town that do wellness checks.
Well,
So-
I think they've taken it over from the police department. The police, instead of calling if a wellness check comes into the police
That's a better
department,
thing.
they send out the human services.
That's a better idea, because they should be doing that.
They're in collaboration
Good.
with each other right now.
Looking at the modifications to the line item, so a few of them were modified to be in alignment with historic spend. A couple of them were modified to challenge for cost savings initiatives. And then for the human services programs and the senior center programs, they were modified because we have no historic spend or view on them. I would like to see, if we're going to operate senior center programs, give me an actual schedule and kind of a business plan on what the programs look like. What's the cost of the program? What's the expected benefits being delivered to the members of the community for the funding we're going to be putting in place.
I have a better suggestion since I did this someplace else. What would be maybe easier, you tell me, how about the number of people that attended?
Yes.
this? I think
That would be great.
Well, what happens at the event, you can put in a paragraph.
Right.
But how many people we touched is really key.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great metric.
It's a great metric.
But
Year
right
over year.
Right now, we have no funding baseline to understand, so, I mean, we have to
It's
have a
just like
number.
every other thing. For doing more, we'll give them more.
Yes. So I restricted upfront the numbers as a talking point, again, for the board to decide, do we have a number we want to put in place there, knowing that Vincent or whoever related can go to the town council and say, I have this great idea. I can serve 100 people with X, Y, and Z. I just need the dollars for it.
And to me, that's a perfect line item, and I don't care which budget item it is.
Yep.
For contingency, move it out, move it into there.
Right.
That's what we should be doing. I have no problem with that. But it's gonna happen from value.
Yes.
Totally.
So any other commentary on the line items within the senior center?
So I have 670, 7098, 798.
672, 768.
And I have something.
I'm a little nervous about the vehicle maintenance numbers. It's well below.
We just got a new.
What-
Oh, they did
I-
get a new
Last
one?
year?
What did you change?
Oh,
Can you do this
I
so I
think
can
it's
help
huge
you?
loss.
It's also in alignment and slightly, it's also in alignment and slightly above the multi-year
Let's go.
average.
Yeah, if we got a new one though, I'm less concerned. I thought
Which
that
other
was-
items did you do?
We still have-
The only thing I modified on this sheet in our talking points was part-time B, 51092.
Yeah, and I have 670, 798.
670, so you're $2,000
I
shy?
had 672, 768, is that what you have?
Yeah.
That's what I
That's what I
have.
have.
Okay, then I must have missed.
You want to check them out?
Yeah, go
What
one
else
by
did you
one.
change? That's what I'm
That
trying
was
to
the
do.
only change.
I didn't change anything during our discussions.
So we got the 3,000, we got the 1,000, we got the 7,500, the 5,000,
You have the non-union.
25. The pension reduced, which is
And then
correct.
Ken, on salaries and wages, it's 326,594, and then 51,892. 672, 768 for the total.
We could,
Okay, let's move forward. Any other discussion points? Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry, Mr. Chair. In the salary line item, is that where if somebody has a car, that's where that goes? Like if you give a director a car, like Bob's car, would that go in his salary? So where would that line item go?
What do you mean?
Like if, we gave him a car,
Yeah.
so
To
would that
use.
be, yeah, like we gave him, it was either 15,000 or, whatever, however that comes out to a
I'll be
month.
right back while you discuss this, if that's okay.
Which line item does that come out of?
So when we purchased a car,
Yeah, he purchased it, we
For
approved
Bob.
him to have a car, yeah.
Yes.
So where does that come out? Is my question, does that come out of the salary line item for, like, I'm not talking about, like, for instance, if Vin has a car, right?
Yeah.
So where does that come out of, which line? That's just my question, in general, where do the cars come
what
out?
would be the expense that we're looking at? Like, are
The
you
car.
saying we reduce their salary because they have a car?
Well, no, I'm not saying to do anything, I'm saying where does the expense for the car, which line item
Oh.
does that come out of?
So vehicle maintenance, if there's anything, the car was already purchased like 2 years ago. So that came out of.
Vin's car was purchased 2 years ago?
When he first, I think it was like a year and a half ago. That was last fiscal year that it was.
Was that for the
purchased.
previous director, do you know? When did he come? He was last year, wasn't he? I was just curious which line item that comes out of vehicle maintenance.
Well, if we would have budgeted in fiscal year '25 for that, I think that would have been a capital expense.
I think you
Oh,
started
that's
at
a capital
25, if I remember
expense.
correctly, on the tab.
Yeah. So it wouldn't have come out of one of the expenditures in the department. I think it would have been a capital expense that it was. But I can go look and see what account that came out
Do
of.
you know when that was? Yeah,
Yeah, let
I'd
me
like to know when
figure out
that
when they were
was purchased, 'cause I
purchased.
don't recall proving that.
Is there one or two? Just one?
I just know there's one, I don't know if there's any others.
Just out of curiosity, why does he have a car? Like, does he do a lot of traveling? Like,
The customer service side, he goes out and does wellness checks. He
Oh,
goes out,
okay.
he goes to the East Smithfield neighborhoods for different things. Yes, he does.
Thank you.
Ken, did you find the discrepancy?
No, I didn't want to waste it.
Okay. Any other conversation on the senior center HSA funding? Can I have a motion for 672, 768?
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you figured it out?
Yeah, I did. I didn't realize I didn't.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No, I.
What?
No, sorry. Trying to keep you on your toes.
Okay. It's more daunting, we're going to keep on our toes. All right, moving forward. Department 20, Town Hall. In this department, there are no non-CBA employees. There actually aren't even any CBA employees. There's a single part-time individual for a custodian. So there were no modifications to the salary line within this department. There is a single capital item that we will discuss when we go to the capital grouping.
When you're ready, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Smiling. So this is town hall. It's an omnibus account, obviously, for the maintenance of the building. Why do we have a telephone charge for this? Who is the town hall? I'm smiling because I don't, this is where I think the telephone should go, but if you have reporting things that you must do, I don't want to usurp those.
No, that's actually an interesting idea
Yeah,
because
I-
there's no employees there.
I can look up and see how it's
It just struck me.
divided.
Yeah.
It just, and what office equipment for the town hall is
So that's where the paper comes, the paper.
But you have
we buy-
maintenance though. You have office equipment and maintenance, that's not supplies. Unless they're used printers that are for everybody or something.
Oh, we do, we have a printer
Okay,
that's out in the main
as long as
area.
that's what it is.
A
But
copy
then-
machine, out in the main area.
So then computers would be charged, laptops or desktop computers would be charged back to the department,
That would be charged, computers would be charged to the computer
IT.
IT.
Those should go to IT.
Okay, so what's office equipment and maintenance then?
Copy machine. We have a copy machine that's out, that's a central copy machine.
The one.
Like there's one on the
across
second
from-
floor.
Across from Bob's office?
Yes.
So the other ones would be charged to the department if it's within their,
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
And so that $5,000 is just for that one piece of equipment?
It's probably least.
Yeah, we lease.
I don't.
Yeah, but you're not going to spend $5,000 a year leasing a lower level
I can see what
copier.
comes out of that account.
I'm just,
More than-
I don't buy that stuff, so.
That's what we have.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah, I
sorry.
just have two questions. One, I know we discussed this last year, and I don't remember the answer to it, is we have professional cleaning services and janitor and a janitor.
Yes.
I don't remember the answer to that question, why there's both.
I re-asked that this year, so I'm glad you're thinking of that and I actually know something. Woo. So what we have is there's the difference between cleaning, vacuuming the floors, cleaning the restrooms,
The
the
waste
general
baskets.
cleanliness and the waste baskets, versus the other position is more of the maintenance aspect, doing general repair work within the facility.
He's
Am I-
a facility.
Like
Like
exterior
the
painting.
rugs, like. that they get
Like
replaced,
fixing a
stuff like that.
doorknob.
But then why is it called
So are
cleaning
you,
services?
looking at janitorial supplies?
No, I was looking at.
570.
Custodian.
So you have a
Oh,
custodian.
custodian part-time.
And
So
then professional
he-
cleaning.
He's more of, he helps, like, if we have issues with the HVAC, he goes in and
Right.
fixes
Gotcha.
that.
Oh, okay.
If we have to replace, paint a room, he does that. If we have to replace a door, he'll do that.
Probably light bulbs and
He-
such.
Yes, and when I say part-time, like, he'll come in a couple hours if we need him.
That's good.
So that's the part-time worker, or is that professional cleaning service?
No, that's
That's
the part-time.
the part-time
worker.
So then what,
And then we have a professional cleaning service that comes in and cleans the toilets and the floor and all that stuff.
And my other question slash comment is heating fuel for 11,000.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to be enough since Greenville Public Library needs 19,000 for a much smaller building. More of a comment. Okay.
Great comments. So the other modifications I made, so I will talk to the capital expenditure because I did zero it out here purely to say and it feeds into the building maintenance and supplies and building renovations and maintenance. How much do we want to invest in a building that we're actively talking about exiting? So we'll talk to that in the capital side, but that's also part of the reductions I made and the justification for the renovations and the maintenance lines.
Okay, I would agree with you. My question is what's printing and reproduction for the town hall? There's no people in that budget, there's no departments.
It's your mailings.
I can look at that one too.
Well, then shouldn't that be under postage?
Well, it's the printing of, like, if you have to print a card to mail, it's that print goes out. It goes to Staples, or it's the external generation of the items, is what I was explaining that printing and reproduction is.
Is this the famous situation we had?
No, it is not.
Okay.
That was
Then what's-
separately funded.
Then what's the 20?
But it's the same concept, though.
But what's the concept? I mean, what
What are we doing?
paying 20?
What are we paying someone else to print? Right.
That's all I'm
It seems
asking.
a lot of,
Because it's a town hall, unless I guess we're sending out a mailer to say that it's, and I'm gonna make this up, that it's the Christmas weekend parade. I don't know,
So-
that's a lot of money.
So, okay, so I just looked it up, printing and
Reproduction.
reproduction. We get charged so Conica Minolta charges us for every time you print
It's the print clicks, okay.
print click. So that copy machine, that's right there, every time something comes out of that copy
I
machine.
get charged the same.
You get charged. And all of the council binders, packets, every 2 weeks comes out of that copy machine.
Oh, goodness, go green, would ya?
Those,
Every copies.
I feel like after tonight, we're gonna be at the copy making our own packets anyway.
So,
You're gonna have to write them by hand.
Yeah, we're gonna have to write them all by hand.
I
Right.
understand that because I get charged, my budget gets charged as a faculty member, but then
But
what's,
then we also lease the copy machine too.
okay, so, but that doesn't include paper.
That doesn't include paper, no.
That's interesting because I get charged for both in one price, so that's kind of interesting.
What do
that
you
you're-
mean? Like
In other words, when I
email?
send something through, I get charged per page, that includes the paper.
Well, we buy our own paper.
That's
Well,
exactly.
you're talking about departmental billing, like a law firm, you're gonna enter your billing code when you want to print something out, and it's gonna charge you for the combination of supplies. Here, they're absorbing some of it kind of across the larger departments. It is what's happening.
So
Versus
that's
entering
only
your
for-
department code.
Is that toner? I hate that.
It usually is, that's the contract I have on.
Right, okay,
Right.
and that's fine, if it's like HP Instant Ink, then I automatically get charged, they send me a couple of more cartridges. If that's what it is, then I get it, but if we're paying for the paper, and we're getting charged for everything, that doesn't make much sense. I've never seen that happen in business. It's usually all, like, we do it all at once. Okay, you don't have to, I don't wanna hold it up, it's just $20,000 is a lot of money.
Let's attach it to it, I mean, is there a modified recommendation to that?
Oh, I don't know the answer to make that recommendation.
I mean, it's 20,000, the 2-year average is $18,033. I mean, we could drop that $1,000 to put a little cost pressure on them. Print a couple fewer binders or something.
Just as long as we're only getting charged for the toner, that's all I'm asking.
It was the toner, it was the drum, it was the general maintenance.
Right,
springs.
but that's in the other,
Yeah.
that's in the other.
That's in the 500 or whatever it is. for
So
the
when I
copy.
see something here that catches my attention is 23, 24, 24, 25, all the expenditures for 2023, very low, 17,000 to 52,000.
Oh, for electricity.
Yeah, go one more.
Variable costs.
You see another one after that, go higher? Where's another one?
15 of building maintenance and supplies.
Yes, so that year, huge increases.
Yeah. Well, and Chris, a lot of that is why in my recommendation for our board, I didn't take a single year number, I took multi-year averages.
Right, that's a good idea. I appreciate that.
And as we build this tracker out in future years, my intent is to start getting a 3, 4, 5-year view of where our expenses per account are going.
Right.
Well, you're gonna longitudinal. I
Right.
100% agree with what you're doing. I think it's great. So do I have 142,413
Correct,
and a 19.8% decrease.
correct. Are we satisfied with the lines on this?
We are.
Can I have a motion?
So
142, 413. That's what I have.
All approved? All in favor? Aye? Approved? None. Excellent.
that's town hall. Got it.
That was town hall, yes. Municipal obligations. So this is one of the easier departments. There's very little that we can or should modify in it.
I do have one change for you, hold on,
Oh, go ahead.
let me get to that one.
It's gonna go down?
Yep, so the insurance premium, I had put at 1,250,000.
Yes.
We got our rates back, it's 1,115,000.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I will take it. You just offset actually some of the increases we
So
added in
that's
tonight.
what we
so.
deposited to the trust theoretically, right?
That's what I paid to the trust.
Okay. Deposit.
This was a big topic last year.
Yeah,
It's much better this year.
All right, I just flagged that a different color.
So now
for
you
ref-
have 3, 6, 32, 514.
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure.
The only talking point I had on this is the merit reserve and the retirement reserve. I did some back-end calculations and came up with reductions in this amount. I'm going to recommend these amounts, and that if anything additional is needed in these line items, it goes to the town council.
Well, and I want to compliment you, Caitlin, for the whole discussion we had last year about the escrow versus contingencies. And so it looks like you're calling them now reserves, correct? The reevaluation I get, that's just your anticipated, what you're going to have to pay for retirement.
Are you talking the reserve, retirement reserve?
Yes, the over increase.
That's actually related to the merit reserve. Those two line items go to the same target utilization group.
No, I understand that. I'm saying, but what are they for?
From that, contract negotiations.
Oh,
That was my-
I understand.
that
I
was
got
gonna
it.
be my question.
Yep, I'm sorry.
It was for what?
Contract negotiations.
Okay.
So I reduced these based on some analysis and recommend that anything else beyond this, if needed, goes to the town council for special request.
When,
Town manager really increased a lot of these that was department requested. and-
He needed to on those two.
Okay.
Um,
I got you.
Directly put into the
Well,
salary.
we can't talk about it.
Okay. Is the money actually spent or is it held in a separate bank account or asset? That answers my question.
So those were the only two items that I modified on this sheet. The reserve unpaid tax and abatement, as well as the revaluation escrow, both are logical. They're recommendations we made last year for continuing forward. So I didn't deem it necessary to further adjust those.
Yeah, I need to see how to say this. I know he said 200 and 460.
This seems like very specific.
We can't, as a board, know what's going on behind closed doors.
Correct.
So, and that's what I wanted to ask, I'm sorry, when is the contract end?
June 30th.
Right. So this, what I will say is this puts them in line, the utilization of this in line with other merit expectations.
But, okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yes.
You don't know what it is.
Right.
Because you don't know what's going on.
But I know how I calculated this. I was not able to get details on how the other numbers were calculated, so I came with my best estimate on this.
No, I'm
And I have to say, anything else has to go to the town council.
Carl, I'm not faulting you for it, it's just,
Yeah.
we just don't know. It's just a number at this point,
Mhm.
because you're not involved in the negotiations.
Correct.
You don't know where they are.
Exactly.
And we can't obviously discuss that, we don't know. So I'm fine with it, and then if it's more, then they
Exactly.
Do it before the end of June.
Right.
Well, unless the contract isn't signed by the date they meet, and then we have no control over
Correct.
that. Okay.
Any other talking points on this department? Can I have a motion for the municipal obligations for $3,632,514?
So, second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.
That change was 9.3%.
So that's, yeah, so it's 452. Well, I'll just give you the total.
What do you,
I'm just
The increase
calculating.
change?
I mean, technically, the increased change is 14.2.
But I guess it's because like the negotiations.
Okay.
Okay. So that's municipal obligations. I'm sorry, system-wide, yeah, the same thing.
But if we zero, it doesn't.
Can we look at when we're gonna call it a night?
So I guess, so board members, we made good progress here. We have an opportunity if we want. We can skip some of the other larger departments and like literally check off boxes across about 12 different departments we can check off probably in 5 minutes.
Let's go.
Because they're various boards, there are a couple $100 groupings.
Do it. A
So
bunch checked off.
we're gonna skip fire.
We're at 14.
What?
Let's do it in order.
If you stick to the
Okay.
agenda.
Okay, yeah, go to the agenda, please. I don't have it in front of me.
14 is animal control. So
Okay.
we can skip it, we can make a motion quickly to.
Can I have a motion to, I have that somewhere.
Yeah, just-
Oh, actually, here it is.
Make a motion to skip animal control table
The
until.
table, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna put a T next to it, number 14, so move.
Okay.
EMA,
EMA, let's table EMA, please. Can I have a motion?
Motion to table EMA.
All right. Public Works, can I have a motion?
Motion to table public works.
So moved. Parks, please, because that technically is a separate. Can I have a motion?
no, not on the motion and on the agenda, it's together.
Oh, correct, thank you.
Creation is there.
Recreation.
Public Works and Parks, didn't say that.
I apologize. I'm on video.
Can I have a motion to table Recreation, please?
So moved.
All in favor? All right, so
Can
moved.
we do more than one, or is that a bad legal thing?
We'll go one by one. That's okay.
We're actually at the point where we can address some in a very quick manner.
Oh, land trust, you want to start with that?
Yeah, so looking at land trust, the only 2 modifications were the dues and conferences and the property management. Both were brought in line or slightly above the historic spend. The one call out I will say is property management in the current fiscal year is already higher than the recommendation for FY27. This is one of those areas of the town where we have to look at the core responsibility we have to the town. Education, public safety, public works. Beyond that, we have to really challenge where we're spending to maintain our tax basis and not overspend. And some of these smaller departments are where we really can impact that.
So you're moving it to 4575, just to move it
Correct.
away, with a 52% decrease, sorry.
59.2.
59, I apologize.
So,
So moved.
all right, well, any discussion points, first of all, any disagreement?
Repeat the number.
$4,575 for the land trust. Can I have a motion? Ken, you made
I
it?
just-
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Let's
People
notate
again?
that Chris has abstained.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're for.
We have 4 still,
I
yes.
should have gone.
In recreation, we tabled.
We tabled
Okay,
recreation.
Check marks, I'm sorry.
Planning board, another quick and easy one. This one, I did leave the increase in office supplies. I reduced it slightly. But again, knowing that we have a lot happening in the planning department and board, but again, trying to claw back what we can claw back, and again, request additional funding when we need to. And then training, I brought in line with prior appropriations.
So
They
that's-
haven't used any
That's
training.
what I was gonna say, that's for members of the planning board, that's not planners of the park.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct. That's a good point. So I have $5,000 with a $3,000 decrease for 37.5 decrease.
Correct. Any discussion points on this?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? And
No, Chris.
no Chris on this.
No, Chris.
Zoning board. The modification on this was the advertising, putting it at 2,000, which is in line, actually, it's an increase over historic spend, but a decrease over the town manager's recommendation on the line. I left the salaries and wages, I left alone. In this case, this is where they do have the zoning, the deputy of zoning, the court reporter, and the secretary funding.
So if you go for a variance, you don't pay for that, like the town pays for like advertising and such, like you don't have to.
I mean, there are fees for it, but the town ultimately, theoretically,
The fee
you're
goes into the
paying,
general fund and
but,
then we pay for it.
Correct.
Okay.
Caitlin, am I
Yeah,
on?
and there are also advertising fees that we pay if we're doing our own
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
zoning ordinance.
That's fair.
Any discussion points? Can I have a motion for the zoning board of review for $9,000?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
It's a
Opposed?
20% increase, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure I didn't see. Board of Canvassers?
Board of Canvassers. So this was one that we discussed we were going to circle back around because we needed to add printing and reproduction.
Whatever it was it 1,000?
Yeah.
But in the past, they never even used more than 300.
It's because it was being charged to
the town clerk.
to the town clerk's office. For the spreadsheet here, I'm going to keep what they had here and add 1,000 to it. Does that make sense? For
You're
a
just
12
increasing the row or just putting in some, just like take out over, well,
I just typed in over where it was and it updates my total.
oh, and printing and pre-production?
Yes.
So it's
Is it-
1,250 now?
Correct. No other lines in this grouping have been modified. That puts it at a $65,334 appropriation. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. And Chris, because you are looking at some of these awesome numbers, that is a very large increase year over year in the appropriation because it's such a small department.
Yes.
Ken.
Well, I'm looking to.
Conservation is a little larger of one just from a line item count. Ultimately, this is one that I reduced pretty much everything to historic averages, maybe slightly above the historic spend, but pull back from the requests. So within the line items here, it brings us to a total of $23,480. The big discrepancies would be park maintenance. Historically has been sub $500. I know they were shifting how some of that was funded and accounted, but we still need to try to pull back on that. I pulled it all the way to $750. Again, if we need to lift that back up, so be it. But this is one of those categories. Parks are important. And again, this is not like the Deerfield parks, the playground areas. This is the small triangles.
Trails.
Yes.
And some of this is being done probably by DPW.
Right.
So I have 23,480
Correct.
to the 13.1
Budget here.
Correct. Any other talking points? The beautification program, I brought down to averages, literally half of the prior appropriation.
So moved.
All right, a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Excellent. We can check that off.
That was a negative, correct? Decrease?
Negative 13.
Negative 13.1, correct.
That was good.
The Economic Development Commission. So this is when they do have some non-defined part-time work in it, some office supplies, and a zeroed-out consultant services. This is one that I moved a little bit on. They have no historic spend until this year. They're at $463 year to date. I put them down from the 2,000 requested, the 1,000 recommended. I put them at 750. Let's find where their true spend level is. And then with the part-time work, I brought it down to 2,200. That's still an increase over the multi-year average, but it's lower than the requested amount.
Question.
Yes.
Since for trivia, I served on this commission for about 4 years. I don't remember any part-time people doing anything for us. Oh, it's you?
It's the recording secretary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then why isn't? Okay.
But that's one of the post-budget cycle work efforts that we're going to need is to...
Sorry. Still get paid. Yeah, let's move that at some point.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to need to move all the recording secretaries into a common accounting, or at least standardize the terminology.
A few things, right. So that's a 2950 for 22.9?
2950, a 22.9% increase, correct. Wait a minute. Yes, it's because the prior year appropriation didn't include the office supply line. The explanation I had is the office supply line was actually used for some of like the Golden Apple, the trail things that they do, and some of the
That's
other
under
work.
office supplies?
It's not true office supplies, but there is printing that they do related.
We need to change that probably, Caitlin.
Say that again?
So they don't have office supplies, they have printing. They sent out the little cards in the mail, so really, I think just for transparency.
Yep. Can I have a motion on $2,950 for the Economic Development Commission? A second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Soil erosion, operating expenses in this one. Again, this is, the operating expenses for my explanation was the recording secretary. So this is an example of where we're not using consistent terminology. This board and this group does not meet regularly. So this is essentially funding 2 meetings, which is still a growth over the prior year's spend, the prior couple of years' averages, but a reduction from the requested appropriations. Any feedback or commentary on this one? Can I have a motion for $400 for the soil erosion and sediment control?
Motion made.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Board of Affordable Housing has 0 budget. We can...
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. None.
Wait.
What will I talk
Soil,
about?
okay, I'm trying to do numbers as well as I'm checking.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that.
Zero's too high.
Board of Assessment.
Board of Assessment, I did not make any modifications to the recommendation. $600 for the year. Again, that is one of the examples of recording secretary charges. It is an increase over the multi-year spend, but they are actually meeting on a more regular basis.
Wait, so is that for you, Donna, or someone else?
No, that's not me, that's...
I was gonna say, it doesn't say that, it just says Board of Assessment, there's no line item.
So the $600 is for the secretary that takes...
That's okay, so can we make that change at some point, please?
Can I have a motion for $600 for the Board of Assessment review?
So moved, second, all in favor?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. I told you we'd bang through a bunch of these. Other boards and commissions, the only modification I made to this one is I actually increased the Budget and Financial Review Board's budget to $2,400. It more accurately represents the quantity of meetings that we have. And because we have a recording secretary for every meeting. It actually still is likely under what our true cost is, knowing the cost per meeting and the fact that we typically have more than 12 meetings a year. But again, it's a balance of, in talking with Bob, he also mentioned that they can and do shift between different accounts in some of the other groups. So it's something we need to fix in the future, having them all centralized.
Fiscal 25, which was 2550.
Right.
That's what it almost looks like your baseline.
Exactly.
As long as that meets with the stipend that they all get, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
It looks weird because we're increasing our
Right.
budget. I don't like it, but.
I'm not gonna vote for it. You can.
The only question I have on this one is,
It's
where
like
is
a Congress
Georgeville
giving
Pond
us those
Association?
raises.
Isn't that under, it's supposed to be under other boards and commissions?
So what is it?
Georgeville Pond Association.
He's
They
right.
get us, they get like $500 a year for booths.
That's under town aided.
Town aided programs, that's not a town board.
It's not a commissioner board.
Oh, yes, correct.
It's their own.
It's like a stipend.
Right. Okay, we'll get to that one.
So moved,
Okay,
so I can get.
second,
Second,
all in favor? Aye, opposed, none. That's $4,000 to the other boards and commissions. Let's table school, please.
Wait, is it Greenville Library?
Oh, wait a minute, sorry, I'm not going off your, let's,
No, it's okay. We're gonna do it anyway.
let's table the Greenville Library.
Oh, we're gonna table that, yes?
I would think so, that's gonna be probably, I mean, the recommendation is straightforward,
There's other
however,
issues.
yes.
I don't, but I think within their budget, it's kind of like the school's budget.
We
You really
approve the
don't-
top
You're
line.
only
Yeah,
approving
it's-
the appropriation that we're
it's
giving
called.
them.
Okay, you know what? Let's start the conversation. If we decide we need to table it, we can. Within everything, the final number, because again, we don't control the line items, we only control the final number provided to them. I looked towards level funding the Greenville Public Library.
just keep in mind, we level funded them last year.
Yes.
Well, we do control,
And the year before.
no, we do control the individual accounts. It's just that we can't give them a dollar less than last year.
125 and 26.
Is that the
Say that
case?
again?
I don't think so.
We can control the individual accounts.
No.
We can't?
No, we just give them an appropriation and they do what they
Right.
want.
No, I know
But
that.
there's no
We
requirement
can't
to
tell
level
them
fund.
that they can't give raises or,
I thought we had to level fund them.
what?
I thought we had to level fund them. at the
You
minimum.
have to at least level fund.
Okay,
That's-
so we do have to at least level fund.
But we
Which is-
don't, but we have no control over, like, they have a budget of
970,000 for last, well, I'm sorry.
1,288,825. If you
Well-
add up their complete budget, it's 1,288,825.
What we have to
but
do,
we're
however, that
only-
includes state funding. We have to level fund the town
The
appropriation,
town appropriation.
which
So we're
is
giving them the exact same
941,850.
Ian, we're giving them 941,850, that's exactly what they got last year.
That's
To the
what,
penny,
That's
yes.
exactly
and
what
which we
I've been
gave them
saying,
in
yes.
24, 25,
We've leveled up
and
in 3
We level
years.
funded.
I know, so I did want that as a talking point for the board. That's challenging, because that's a lot of, that's a number of years of inflation out there eating away at the services they're providing, so.
Have they come to any of our meetings and asked for more money or made any indication that we need more money?
well, their
They're always
budget
gonna take
clearly
it.
shows that they want more money.
But we've been level funding them for 3 years now. At least last year, they never came and said, you know, we could really use more money to do X, Y, and Z. They really,
Well, they've never, you would have to invite them.
I think at the public hearing, they didn't come out and say anything.
Right. And by the way,
But at the
putting
public
level funding in, I
hearing,
will say from a personal perspective, is really challenging for me. My family's at one of the 2 libraries every couple of weeks, that we really enjoy their services.
I was
But
gonna
the
ask,
number
what
at
did
the
we
public
lose?
hearing
Mhm.
was the town manager's number, which we increased by, which we gave them a 3% increase.
Correct.
So they wouldn't have come up and said, you know, why are you level funding us? Because that wasn't, the town manager was not level funding them.
I think this
Yeah,
was
but-
my group, Peter, like, sent an email to you
Pete-
as well. He
yes.
didn't get responses.
Yeah, Peter did try to engage the
Conversation.
library and never received a reply back on it.
But part of that is, and I agree with you, but part of that is they still will be a part of the process, no matter what, you know, and you know. I agree with you, it's a community thing. We did table the Greenville Library. Could talk about why, but should we do that with this, or? move
But this is
Well, this is
Greenville.
Greenville.
We haven't tabled it yet. I was recommending we table it, but someone asked a
I marked
question.
it
I just have one comment on Greenville Public Library that we talked about last year is when you look at their 990 tax return, their cash reserves went down during COVID and they're starting to go up back again.
Right.
They're going up based on taxpayer money. which, and it leaves, once it leaves the taxpayers, they have 100% control over it. So
Exactly.
even since we've been level funding them, their reserves have been increasing. So
Has their state aid been increasing, or does it show that?
So for the library, state aid is a percentage of town appropriation. It's typically 25%. Now, there is a challenge this year. The state is actually proposing 24.1, which is actually against something within the state, some law or governance. And there's actually a little bit of an uproar from the library system about the state cutting back or trying to cut back funding against state guidance.
So not to challenge, is that true? Okay, I didn't know, I thought the state aid was like school aid, there was a formula.
No, it depends on how much they receive, the appropriation from the town.
So theoretically, they've been level funded from the state aid, if it's the percentage by law.
So they're probably going out there trying to get more from the Champlain Foundation, they're probably out there
Which I
trying to get
hope they
more
do.
grant.
And the
I don't
reserves
know,
are
don't quote me on that.
But yes, the reserves have been
because some of these
increasing.
expenses are inflated. I mean, look at the heating fuel. It costs more, according to what you're seeing there, it costs more to heat the library than it does all 3 fire stations combined.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No.
Of course not. So, and have we seen an audit from Regal Public Library?
You can't ask for it,
You can't ask for
I can ask, they just say no.
they'll just say no.
it? Okay.
Because all we can audit is what you send them.
A lot of restrictions.
And they don't need to,
Once you sign that
Perfect.
check, it's theirs.
yeah,
It's like the
and
school.
they don't need to do an audit because they're technically a corporation and they
Yeah.
don't, they don't abide by the same audit rules
Government
as the
standards.
town of Smithfield does.
All we do with our
Why
audit is.
why are we obligated to level fund them every year?
That's
State
law.
State
That's
law.
state law.
Can't go to level.
The
The lowest you can go is level.
If we could figure out if we're actually losing services by level funding, then we can have that conversation.
Right.
But we're
They're
not.
not, they're not.
We have no
So-
data.
Well, they
No
closed
data,
on
and a
Sundays
lack of
a couple years ago
engagement, which
because
is-
it was level funded, which is what they claim.
I'll just to move this forward, I'll just vote to approve your number, which is,
Well, make it as a motion, please, if
Well,
that's,
is to,
Is it an increase or decrease?
it's level.
It's level funded.
Okay, thank
because
you.
it's 941, 850.
Correct.
What did they want before this?
970.
970.
And that's what they wanted and
30,000.
That was it. They wanted a 3% increase.
I vote for the 941, make a motion to vote for
I
941.
second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.
So it's not tabled, it's going.
Correct.
Okay, Eastman.
Again, same conversation. We can level fund, we cannot reduce, we could increase. The recommendation I have in place here is the level funding.
So in '24, they were 610, 859, and '25, we did 618, 180.
Yeah, they had a slight increase a couple of years ago.
They wanted 636, so we're going by about what?
3%. They wanted 3%.
Right, so we're by 618, we're there, it's about 18 grand, give or take.
18,545, correct. So, again, same conversation,
Yeah.
Uh,
a lack of engagement and
You just scroll up a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I was on the original FRC. I'm not going to go into detail when one or both of them came in and it wasn't fun. That's all I'm going to say on record. It wasn't fun.
No.
Fun at all. I'm not criticizing what they're doing. They probably do a great job. I've heard a lot of good things about the East Smithfield Library. Or is that what you said?
Yeah, they have tons of programs.
They have a great maker space
They're
over
very much a
there.
Yeah.
neighborhood thing. And I would implore them, I'm saying this on the record, I would implore them to just come and talk to us and see what we can do for next year. If they're doing such a great neighborhood,
Well, maybe next year you should make a point to invite them. I don't think they didn't come because they didn't
No,
want to.
I'm not
I
saying-
think they came because they weren't invited.
Maybe
As
that's
the
what my
other
question is,
departments.
well, it's either that, but since we are level funding them, they don't seem to be too worried about it. Also, I agree with you, Caitlin, but there's two sides to this.
Right.
Anybody can come and talk to us and ask.
I wonder if their funds have been increasing to their reserves.
I didn't check theirs.
So-
I'm guessing it probably stays the same, but they don't have what Regal Public has.
No, I know.
No, they don't. Okay.
So
I'll
I
make a
kind
motion.
of almost feel bad level funding them, but I don't know where to draw the line?
Well, I don't know where to go.
You would have to get the specific expenses and
Well, we have
justify.
that, it's just, I think we'd have to have a good justification to level fund one and
Right.
increase the other one with arbitrary reasons.
That's where I was looking
Yes.
at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 18 grand.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
I'll make a motion to fund them at 618,189. If I have a
Second.
second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. All right. We are like down to the wire on some of these. Do you want to discuss the last three, or do we want to move them to Tuesday?
What are the last three?
We have the East Smithfield Neighborhood Center.
Senior center?
We have town-aided programs as a topic.
So-
that one I think is going to be pretty easy.
So
but-
are we legal, I don't know why senior center is
Can't
on
change
here.
it.
We technically have to table it because it's on the agenda.
Well, so, okay, you know what, Senior Center Legacy Department, it's on there because I copied a list of departments. Can I have a motion to approve the redacted Senior Center Department? So technically, there is a Senior Center Department in here that is zeroed out because it was all moved over into the Health Services Department.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, it was moved to human services.
Correct, yeah. So it's not that Human Services moved into Senior Center, it's that Senior Center moved into Human
Right, so
Services.
we're not redacting it, we're just agreeing that they're no longer.
That they're- correct.
Their own.
Town aided program is like the charities we give to.
Well, we didn't do, can we figure out,
We
can we do this in order?
Oh, sorry.
The neighborhood
I
center?
saw it was the, I thought I just skipped it. I thought it was the library.
Sorry, I lost my place.
Number 30.
There, okay, I'm on it. Okay, the East Smithfield Neighborhood Center is the new location being, or it's been stood up primarily through grant funding. I understand that we do have at least a town employee basing their office out of it now. This is purely incremental cost. There are some grants to help fund services operating out of it as they start it up. But everything we approve here is additional to the tax burden of the town. With no published plan of exactly how we're utilizing or who's utilizing. There also is not a monetization policy in place, so leasing out or renting out the community rooms.
A procedural question based on what you just said, Ian, is you have a whole bunch of accounts here that are new. It looks like you quote, quote, stuffed their original operating expenses in under the account number 900, and then everything else, because they only had 6450, now they have 22. Am I reading this correctly? Okay. So it's just because we've had an employee for 10 grand, but that would only bring it,
No.
No.
In the previous year for operating expenses,
no, I'm
it
talking
was,
the appropriation.
right, but last year, we didn't have an employee for 10 grand.
That's what I just said. So
Oh.
isn't
It's a
it,
new request.
6,400 plus 10?
No.
No,
Why?
because there's been no one there. The 10 is the department FY27 request.
No, I understand that. But if I impute what they got last year and add the 10, then what are all the other expenses? That's what I'm
The actual
trying to-
stand-up of the facilities. Remember, this facility is new. It didn't exist as an operating, functioning
It just
town
opened doors.
location.
It was still under construction.
Okay. All right.
And also, as a point of order, the salary and wages was zeroed by the town manager, and I'm moving with that. I'm agreeing with that. So there's actually not a dedicated staffed individual that's budgeted or funded out of the East Smithfield Neighborhood Center. They're out of another department supporting it.
So ultimately, we had 6,400, forget the 10.
Yeah.
All those other quote, quote, expenses are quote, brand new, whatever, and obviously it's 30,500 that we didn't have before because now it's a sustained operation in a building. Is that a
Right.
fair statement? Okay, that's fine, all right, thank you, I just needed that.
Who
Now,
oversees this? Like, what branch
Town
of
of
the town
Kelly.
oversees
It's
this?
recreation director.
Recreation. Okay.
and that's actually who is sitting in the facility at this point.
His offices are in,
Oh, he's not in the senior center anymore?
no.
So are we planning to move this under recreation?
No, this is a standalone department. As it is a new expense, like I did in some of the other new expenses, I trimmed some of the numbers. I want to go in conservative, and if they can't operate like this, let's find out why.
There's no baseline or anything.
I
Right.
mean, unless this is zone object code, going back to Steve's question, it looks weird to have a department with no people, which is to your point. I think it should be moved, but that's up to the
I
town.
mean, we have the same thing with the municipal government center. There is no staff in that one.
But yeah, but that's not an operating building, it's
At
not
the
an
same
operating
time,
function.
This is good, because you can track me into rent costs associated with
Agreed.
the project.
Yeah.
For now, it's good. to
It's almost like a
establish
project and not
Through
a
some methodology.
department. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
As far as any of the numbers that are in here, any recommendations?
What did we, so we had professional cleaning service with the town hall, I forget what we put that at, but
We kept it.
you kept it at
You left
11? Yeah, so we cut, I didn't know if we cut it. So we're thinking the exact same amount, but I didn't know if it was bigger or smaller, so at least you can.
Well, that's why in this case, I chopped it down to 7,500. It's less than what the town hall is spending.
All right, that's.
Just a stupid question, how many, I apologize in advance, how many square feet is this building as opposed to? Yeah, no, I know, but you know where I'm going with that, obviously, it's just, that's a good guide to say how much should we be paying for it.
Well, how much foot traffic does it have? If you
Well,
have a room that doesn't get anyone in
So
it,
the foot traffic currently comes from the food pantry.
Oh,
So
Is
they
that-
have quite a few people come into the food
That's
pantry.
here?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's a good idea.
I think we gotta reorganize this, I think.
Yeah.
But maybe for now, it's fine.
and any modifications to the $22,750 funding
So
level?
moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
So
Any
this is
opposed?
number 30 on the agenda, I'm checking that off.
Correct.
Because we went backwards. Yeah, that's fine.
We already cleared 31.
Yep.
Town-aided programs. So these are charities, nonprofits, and other organizations that the town donates funding to. I am making the recommendation that we zero this out, as historically there's been no accountability behind any of the funding given to these organizations. I don't want to get in a position where we are picking and choosing ourselves. There's some great groups on here, and I wholly support funding a number of the line items on this. But for the funding to occur, I want it to be a member of that organization approaching the town council and making a request to support their organization with a staged vote from the town council.
Well, the other thing I'm going to say is Judge of the Pond Association, they do have open meetings, and they put all the buoys up that the town uses to keep the boaters out of the swim area. So that, we might not know that as a board, but the board does exist, and those buoys cost a lot more money than the town gives it for. It comes out of the organization's pocket, which we have no problem doing.
Does it come out of there, or does it come out of the rec department?
Comes
with
out
the
of
summer?
ours, comes out, yeah, we pay for that as a Judge of the Pond Association with our dues.
Yeah.
Pays
It's
for it.
500.
Yeah, which doesn't cover it.
I understand. I agree, I'm a social person in terms of what these people potentially would do. Here's what I'm gonna just throw out for, I would be amenable to vote $73,000 to this line item with no specifics and let the town council decide. Based on, I mean, I don't wanna give them more work to do, but I think there should be a process.
Right.
Which is what you're leading to, rather than, and I think it's either zero, which is tough to do, I'm gonna admit. I'm just saying, our recommendation is that these people should apply for a grant, just like we do the
Exactly.
opposite way, and we'll level fund it at 73, and let the town council here, through Bob's office, or whoever.
Well, hold on a second.
Level funding would be 71.5.
Oh, 70, I'm sorry, I was looking at the 73. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm just trying to, I think this is our way of not only fiscally, but just saying, hey, look, this is a great program, let's formalize it.
See, I think there's a big chance if you do that, there are some of these that don't come back.
That's exactly.
And now we have
Yes.
a wide open,
To redesign the deck chairs.
7.5 to go to other places.
right, that gets shuffled to a different department when we need to shuffle it to a different, and I'm opposed to that.
I like that idea because you can look at the ones on there, you know who's going to come up and get funded. Smithfield Cemetery, they're going to come up there and they're going to say, we need to keep the cemeteries beautiful.
All lit up parade, they're gonna come, and we're gonna give them the money.
Yep, exactly. So it's going to clean out the ones that don't do anything for our people.
Or aren't interested enough to do it. I don't want to say
Exactly.
no.
So for the
I
time
love
being,
that.
yes, it'll be a good idea to see who comes forward.
Exactly.
And then this will be modified to the
Zero
appropriate
fund.
places for the amount that they want.
Yeah, zero fund for
Yeah,
the
where we're gonna get the
board.
money if we zero fund it?
What's that?
Where are we gonna get the money if we zero fund it? And somebody comes and says, I want $1,000.
I see what you're saying, to do it as a.
That's why I'm
bucket
saying-
of 73.
Yeah, but
I might
if you
even
do that,
think
then
less.
it's a slush fund rolling over into the general fund. Because we can't stop it from being reappropriated.
It's a small amount of
No,
money.
no, what I'm suggesting.
No, it's not, it's 73,000.
No, I mean, for the general fund, compared to the general fund, it's a small amount.
What I'm
So he's
suggesting,
saying, where would it come from if these groups
Okay,
came?
you're saying it could easily come out of the general fund, knowing it's less than whatever this number is.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
no, it'd go to surplus if it's less. And if they want more, they want. We could pick a number and say 50 grand. Let the town council decide if they want to give 60, then they can reappropriate the money.
It just adds accountability to it.
It does.
Because right now, we're just going to fund it, they're going to get their check, and we don't know what they're doing with it.
All right, so I'm hearing a couple talking points here. One is a zero funding and let everyone individually approach the town council. One is a generalized dollar funding somewhere south of 73.5 or 71.5. I heard 50,000 thrown out as a general fund controlled by the town council. We have to be careful, that's not controlled by the town council, but that's controlled by the town manager. The town manager can move this as needed.
I'm happy with either one.
And then I've heard a third, which is a full funding as a general bucket.
I think we should eliminate the first one of zero funding,
Yeah.
because then there's no money for the groups.
Right,
So
okay?
then it's just a matter of how much we want to.
I was gonna vote against.
That might send the wrong
Yeah.
signal. That might send the wrong.
Yeah.
I would say, and I'm just gonna throw this number up, 50 grand, all of them are gonna be zero, right? All the individual line items up through row 25. Put $50,000 for our recommendation in row 27, if you see where I'm going. And our recommendation is that the town manager and/or the town council, you can say word it however you want,
Yeah,
that they'll decide who gets these funds based on a process.
For the purposes of accountability and transparency.
Correct.
yeah.
We're gambling the general fund a lot, like, I don't know.
Well, if they're gonna go over 50, the manager can't go over 50 unless he finds the money someplace else, and the town council can reappropriate it.
Now the key point is the $50,000 in the general line is wholly and exclusively managed by the town manager,
Correct.
not the town council.
That's fine, it's it's better than what we're doing now.
They'll
Yeah.
see where it's going. And
Yes.
then, you know, make better decisions.
And they can report on and say, these are the people that got this for this purpose.
Yep.
It's a good idea.
50,000 was just a number.
Compromise. I like it.
See what happens. I don't think they're going to spend it all.
I think there will, I think it'll all get spent very quickly.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do 50, yes.
To these groups?
Either to these or to other special interests, which is why I wanted it to be a stage discussion versus because right now this is an office in the town hall discussion. This is not a public forum discussion. Remember, this funding is your tax dollars and my tax dollars. Basically, it's the town saying, I'm gonna make you support this organization and that organization, and it's being done historically here behind closed doors. By having it be a town council approved item, it's being done in the daylight. It's being done up on stage in front of the cameras, in front of the audience.
I like that too.
I originally said the town.
My problem is I don't know how to fund it.
You have to go to zero.
You have to go to zero,
Your
and
first
that's where my talking point was.
I see.
No, I think what you do is you take away all these lines, all these rows, and you just fund it for X, and then let them worry about it. Because you have several in here that.
Who's the them?
town council. That's what I've been saying right from the very beginning.
Caitlin, I need a financial clarification, please. When it comes to department budgets, once it's in the department budget, like for instance in these, is the town manager able to independently appropriate that
Because the
funding?
council has already approved that $50,000
Right.
in that department.
So he doesn't need to go back to the town council to divvy it out?
To use that money.
I agree. We're all over the place. I'm just saying who gets it. I don't care whether it's the town manager or the town council. I could care less. But they're not going to get more than $50,000.
But what they're saying is if they don't go to this group, it may be pushed somewhere else. It could be.
But that's a different issue. If they go to 52, they have to go to the town council and get it moved. This is what I've been saying all
So
night.
essentially, the messaging is, we're giving the town manager $50,000
Correct.
to appropriate to whatever nonprofits or organizations and charities he sees fit.
Maybe with council from the, with the council from the council. I don't really care.
Well, no, there is no guidance or governance from the council in that.
Paving it.
Okay.
But he can't go over 50 without moving it around.
Right, that he can't do, correct.
Well, we're doing it now. We're kind of doing it, but, because they're just taking out
Right.
the line item. But, no, it's 50. And again, I'm not saying 50 is my number.
But I think it's a good starting point.
I think it's a great starting
So the town manager can say, well, I want to fund Smithfield Lit Up Committee since that's a good town function. I want to fund the cemetery,
Yeah.
because that's really good. And then maybe he wants to hesitate on some of the other ones he's not too sure about, then have to go to town council and ask for more money.
Absolutely.
And then put the pressure on the council.
Correct.
So, that's the way I would tackle it.
Because this is a gift, for the lack of a better term.
Right.
There's no accountability in the other direction.
Exactly. It's time to change that.
I'll take any motion that comes my way.
I don't know, I don't like it.
Right.
What are you thinking, Joe? You got to say it before us.
No, that's what I don't know what to say, because I feel like the healthcare ones are important, but I have no idea why, but
But I don't think we've ever had any accountability from that organization.
no. But,
And the problem, Joe, I agree with you, but the problem is if we do that, then we got to do it all or nothing.
well, that's what I'm saying, so I'm more arguing about the 50 grand than anything, but I have a better number, so
I think it's a starting point, and I trust Bob or with some counsel from the council. I trust him to do it, but that's. I think if we appropriate the 73,
I think that's out of the question. I would do that.
I mean, the other thing is we can say this is a tight budget, and that's what people in the town hall, with all due respect here, got to start saying.
Mhm.
It's a tight budget, and I think we just got to start making some choices. And we still got a lot of choices to make, gentlemen.
We have some we haven't touched the biggest of our departments. That'll be Tuesday.
In my opinion, we got $1.2 million to fix.
So we roll with 50. Or just really just throw a number around.
This can always change. They can always modify the budget.
Can I make a motion?
Please do.
I'd like to make a motion for $50,000 for the town-aided programs with the discretion of the town manager to delegate those funds appropriately among the requesting organizations.
Does it have to be within? Okay, never mind. I'm not going to complicate it. Because the language there says it has to be these organizations versus any he sees
I
fit.
think
And we
it's-
can't put that restriction on him.
Did I say these organizations or the organizations?
You said these.
These are, okay. Can I just change it to the requesting organizations?
Sure.
Or just organizations?
Yeah.
Sorry, Donna.
So delegating it to the.
Town manager.
Delegating, okay, so yeah, the town manager delegating the funds to.
The requesting organizations.
How about A request?
Right.
to
I think that would be.
Well, I just want to make sure that.
Because we don't want to restrict it to this list. We want it
If
to
we say
be.
B, it might assume.
Yeah, so we said,
I think maybe any.
Yes.
Any request, any requesting organization.
Any requesting organization.
So it's only on the line item, just so we understand. It's only on the line item, so it's on the.
We're funding the department, not the individual line items.
Oh.
I guess, Caitlin, can we even do that?
I don't know, I would have to check
I think we can.
I think we can.
I see nothing that says we can't say it's only for 01, 08, 101, period.
Yeah.
Story.
Okay, so I have a motion on the table. Is there,
I'll second it.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No? Excellent. Let's call it there for the night, gentlemen and ladies.
Do you want to just do the debt one, because that one's just plugged in?
Oh, okay, yes. Wait a minute, is there?
Sorry.
Yes,
This one's all
so,
set, doesn't it?
so item 33, municipal debt service. There is no editing this account. It is as directed.
I do have a question.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, this is where's the $500,000?
In the
That we have-
principal, in that 4,380,000.
Oh, so it's in there.
Yeah,
It's a bond that I thought we just had a line of credit.
It-
You're just calling it just
Yes.
for the, okay, that's fine.
It's in-
I mean, you may want to break
and
that
the
up.
interest is in the interest section.
My sense is, I think you need to break that up because it is
But
on.
if I run a report of that account, there's only gonna be 6 payments, and one's gonna say here, here, here. Like, it's not like we make hundreds of payments. It's easily
But
identifiable.
one's being made to Washington Trust and one's being made to the State Infrastructure Fund, I'm
But
assuming.
they all come out of the same account, but
Understand, but not to get picky, but it's not a bond that we have to Washington Trust. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a bond. I think we have to break those out. I think we have to break those out. Because one is a bond and one is whatever you classify. They are different callable.
Depends on how the bond is rated.
Well, but the line of credit is not a bond.
It's just a strict line of credit.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a
not a line of credit. it's a loan.
Up to one.
I move for the 61450.
I second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
None opposed. Good work tonight, everybody. So we have to, first of all, line item E, public comment. Would anyone not on the board like to make public comment?
There's nobody here.
Right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. We are out.
Line job.
Good work tonight, everybody.
Put a lot of work into it.